The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.
Mouse, like no, I'm not joking. It could be a rodent, you know,
smaller creature.
maybe, but mouse, like no, I'm not joking. It could be a rodent, you know,
smaller creature.
maybe, but.
I got signal here. Or see him. I got signal here. Or see him.
You guys heard that, right?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Keep hearing wrestling to the left. Or line. There it is again. Yeah, something's following us.
Just don't move.
I can't see nothing on that.
It's over there.
I know, I hear it. I'm just trying to film.
I heard that.
What was that?
I don't know, did you hear that hiss? Oh my God, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Something just got thrown into the water.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Something just got thrown into the water.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Something just got thrown into the water.
Yeah. Sabe.
You hear that?
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 All right, guys. Welcome back to another live show. I think there's echo. Let me fix this real quick. All right, that should have fixed it. Make sure everything's going and working all right now. There was a little technical glitch. Basically, I had two of me on here at the same time. It was echoing on my end and all of that. So, yeah, if you guys heard some of that stuff, that was some audio of some Sasquatch activity across Michigan, and various wood knocks and stuff, and vocals, hissing sounds, and grunts, and a huge rock being thrown in the creek system. And it's not deer doing that, right? Raccoon's not picking up a huge rock and throwing it and making a significant noise enough to scare people, scare that other researcher. And people say, when you present this evidence, and I will say that this is Bigfoot. Both, Tommy, both Lower Michigan and Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we have evidence of. So that was all in the Lower Peninsula, and then I'll show you guys two clips from the Upper Peninsula right now. Short 10-second clips, and these are eye shines of individuals from me and Jason Kenzie's encounter. So as you can see, there's going to be eye shine right there on the left, very quick, just because the camera is panning and stuff, and it happens to catch. And as you can see, both our headlamps are facing the opposite direction. It is in the woods. It is not us. I'll show it again. This was in the Upper Peninsula. So there you can see is a individual eye shine. As we had walked up to two we had seen. So we actually walked up to two we had seen. I explained this plenty of times. And then here's another clip. So this is going to be very quick again. It's going to be on the left side. Bam, right there. Very fast. And this is after we are leaving that same area as the first clip. So same individual, I believe, same side and same area and stuff. It just had walked with us, we believe, a little bit. So, but what else can it be? When you're getting stuff thrown at you, and heavy boulders and hissing, and you're hearing footsteps around you, bipedal movement, and in that case of the Upper Peninsula, they actually had shown themselves, and we've seen the silhouette and the massive cone head shapes and stuff, which was no other animal. So, when you experience these things, of course, I'm going to present it as 100% Bigfoot fact because that's my experience. This is the evidence that I caught. And from my point of view, it is 100% real fact. And that's what I have to present. Just because other people don't consider it that you know, a lot of people, that's fine and stuff, but some people will group you into, you know, classifications along with hoaxers and stuff. And I uh, had the opportunity to confront a person of such, and it was very interesting. And it was interesting their perspective on such things, and uh, it was good to be honest and direct about it. But I don't think that the classification of just because you present things as 100% fact, even though I can't prove this scientifically and stuff. Obviously, no one else was there. How would else? How else would anyone else? uh, how else would anyone else? I truly 100% believe anything I have to say, or even the evidence if they weren't even there. You know, unless it's like better than the Patterson film. But that doesn't mean it's not fact, and it doesn't happen, and it's not true, and it doesn't take away from anything. But for my name to be put on a website and to be known as a hoax or not as yet, just because I present things as 100% fat Bigfoot or my evidence is a little far fetched and stuff. But I think that that might be getting cleared up and stuff. And if not, who gives a shit? I just think it's funny that anyone can just randomly do that without evidence and stuff of I understand hoaxers and stuff. I mean, I've bashed hoaxers on here, and I've shown evidence of why and stuff, clear cut reasons why. But just for me to come up on here and say call someone's story BS because I don't believe anything they have, but I can't really show you why, other than I just don't believe it. I won't say that. But if I had a reason, like yeah, they're hoaxing, and sound came from the Sierra sounds, and they slowed it down 10% or whatever, then yeah, I would 100% come out and say that because that's hoaxing. I can prove it, and that sort of stuff should be. But yeah, it's interesting and stuff. So, but I presented some of that stuff for you guys. Now we have a bunch more on the channel, evidence and through some of the longer expedition, hour-long, 2-hour-long videos we have of being out in the field and stuff. You guys can experience some of the stuff that we experience through the camera and stuff, and that's as close as you guys can get through interviews we have, of course, and then evidence that we present. But unless you're there with us and you're out there with me, how could you say 100% that what I'm experiencing isn't happening because you're not even there? And the people who do go with me and who experience, and all the people, whether they like me or not, who have hung out and experienced stuff with me, they'll tell you, this stuff does happen. So that's just the one thing they will 100% say, that, yeah, stuff does happen. How do you go, Tommy? Well, anytime you're in Michigan, I'll hook you up and we can go out. But next summer, we'll be doing a big expedition, inviting researchers out. So summer 2023 for sure. Yeah, so that's what I would like to guarantee next summer and stuff. A big old thing, and we got some prime areas and stuff. So yeah, so some of the evidence and stuff that we catch, and we even got Florida video from Florida of eye shine and stuff. Is eye shine because these things are nocturnal and they have nocturnal vision, which reflects ambient light and light sources way more effectively than, of course, non-nocturnal animals and stuff. So, and it makes sense and stuff. Being a primate, we have examples of nocturnal primates in South America with monkeys and stuff, and the way that primates, those particular apes, and night vision, and the way that maybe Sasquatch would have it, evolves along the same evolutionary lines as owl night vision and stuff. So it's very effective and stuff. It's actually built the same exact way and evolved the same exact way. So it's pretty interesting. So it's very high tech for animal night vision. They probably would have on the higher end and stuff. So even better than some cats and stuff. which makes sense. I've experienced, being out there and they just run circles around you. And with the terrain and stuff at nighttime, even with flashlights, you have to take it slow. And get your eyes poked out, and falling and tripping and getting impaled is actually a real thing. Falling and tripping and falling on hazards, it does happen a lot. You're not going to outrun them. You can't chase them down. You really, once you move into your area, you start making so much noise and racket that they if they choose to stay around you and make interaction, it's because they want to and stuff. It's not because they can't get away. And so we've had in Allegan in part 1 and part 2 is a great example, because we actually do chase them and stuff. And some of the examples I showed where I'm filming the crew and they're trying to film whatever we're hearing walking, and they have night vision, they have thermal, 2 night visions and a thermal going. Of course, it's behind brush and never comes out in the open and stuff. And if you watch part 1 and part 2, we actually chase them, and we hear responses, and at different times we chase them and hear responses and stuff. And it's toying with us, basically. It's being a good sport, luckily, because if it wasn't, we would have had some bad interaction, and it could have been, you don't want that. We want to be safe, of course. I want to make sure everyone gets home safely. That's my responsibility as the founder of the Lost Cryptids. If I take anyone out, it's on me, right? I'm taking you out. It's on me. So, but luckily the Sasquatches, all they did was respond to us and kind of, even though I made aggressive sounds and stomping on the ground and breaking branches and rustling of leaves aggressively, to get a response. And we got a response, and it was just brushing of the leaves to announce its presence very close to us, 60 feet away, I would say. And just to let us know it was there and everything. And you can't outrun something that's, that we think can go 60 miles per hour. They can probably, the burst of speed is very fast, so they can catch you very fast. But top speed, of course, we were not fast at all in terms of top speed, so it doesn't even matter. They would be faster than humans, so. But they can just go through anything on all fours, and especially they can get into things that you wouldn't think of Sasquatch, and you would think, I'm having a hard time going through this. How is a Sasquatch fitting in here and stuff? Well, they're going on all fours and stuff. And if deer can get in through there, a Sasquatch can get in through there. And if you have to go on all fours, then, that's what they do and stuff. They just go through stuff. They don't even have to go through tunnels. They just go through it. And I've heard examples of how fast they can run. This is my very first encounter when it crossed the road in 3 steps bipedally, which I instinctively knew that that's not a deer. It's not a normal animal. I'm frozen because I'm trying to listen to it, and then it jumped into this flooded thicket and dashed towards me very fast, very quick. It got up to me very fast. It was 30 feet away still, but it had covered probably that same distance or more. Very fast, instantly. No human could do that, and it didn't sound like a deer. It sounded bipedal and stuff. It was very crazy. And they get up right up on you and stuff. And the IMAX film, if you guys look at that, is a Sasquatch supposedly filmed on this IMAX crew film while it's filming caribou or elk, I believe. And it's running after them and stuff. It's pretty good. It's very interesting. A lot of people have made different breakdowns on it. I should probably do one and stuff. But a lot of people have done it, and it's pretty genuine, I think, and stuff. As do others. Tommy Cooper from Cryptovania TV says, I saw one running and stuff, and the only thing I could relate it to was a hawk in a power dive. Very interesting comparison. Very fast, very abrupt. I mean, if you compare it to a bear, at certain distances, you can compare it to bear speeds and stuff, and then I would say probably maybe a little bit faster. So they are very fast and can get up on you extremely quickly, and and where they like to stand means that if it's standing 30 yards away from you and stuff, it can get up on you, instantly. If it's standing 100 yards and stuff, it can get on to you pretty fast, probably a second. If it starts full speed, it's not going to take long. A second or two. And but that's not, that's not what they're going to do and stuff. If they're going to bluff charge you, they're going to make a lot of noise. But most of the time when a Sasquatch is going to attack, it's going to be a stealth attack. It's going to not announce its presence to a human who can turn around and shoot it. It's going to ambush you. It's going to reach out and grab you when you're next to a big thicket, when you can't really sneak in there and you have to go into a trail that has a thicket on each side of it. It's very, very condensed in, claustrophobic. They'll hide in those thickets and then they'll ambush whatever stuff. They're not going to make a bunch of noise for humans to turn around and shoot. They'll drop down from a tree, stuff. They'll submerge themselves in mud and water in a swamp, wait for something, and Undertaker sit up and grab something. I mean, that's what they do. They're ambush predators and stuff. They don't just make noise and scare everything. And we do have reports of them, driving deer and stuff. So that we do know that happens. But for energy consumption and stuff, and what we assume they do is they sit around and ambush things a lot. Sit around and observe, watch the forest, and wait for opportunities. So that's why you can never really sneak up on them, because they're already sitting down watching, and you just walk up into what they're watching, and now they know you're there. It's very hard to sneak up on something that's engaged in observation. That's what they do. They observe everything. They observe, they watch, probably get bored. Then what they do, they learn to mimic things, is what we think. They watch things, they throw things, they think. When you can sit around and think, then you become intelligent. And so that's maybe how they're intelligent. They think because they have time. They're not in survival mode all the time. They don't have to eat, sleep, worry about running around and procreating and stuff. They can actually have time to sit down and observe the environment, think about the environment, plan, have developed culture and stuff. That's how you do it. You can't develop culture if you're a deer running around and surviving all the time. So I don't think they observe from spaceships, Brandon, but if that's your opinion, who knows? Maybe one day we'll discover. I could be wrong. There could be some spaceships. That would be awfully funny. But I'm interesting. Lately, is what's the interaction between Sasquatches and other cryptids? Because I personally have seen, my girlfriend has seen a wolf cross the road, and my voice has been a little cracking and stuff lately, so bear with me. Probably have to go get a drink here soon, but so we seen a wolf cross the road on all fours, and it got up and ran on it 2 legs like a human, very efficiently. The way it got up and stuff, it wasn't It wasn't a man in a costume, clearly. Yeah, it was a wolf. Then got up and ran like a human, and very fast and very fluid. So what kind of interactions would they have out there? You know, would it be symbiotic? Would it be uh, rivalry? Would it be avoidance and stuff? We I personally know people, and we have on this channel interviewed people who have encounters where a Bigfoot is running with a wolf. The wolf is running with the Bigfoot. You know, like a companionship. It wasn't not they're not fighting and stuff. You know, so we're kind of and there's interactions and stuff. We think with coyotes and Bigfoot too, where there's some symbiotic pet relationship going on and stuff. With the Sasquatch, or there, whatever kind of relationship and whatever level, we don't know, but there's reports and there's even some type of interactions and stuff going on, even if the coyotes are just scavenging off Sasquatches and stuff, and all that. But anyways, it'd be very interesting if they coexisted enough, or they just avoided each other and stuff. And there's other cryptids out there with rivers and lakes here in the Great Lakes and other states around America, in other places around Canada, North America, and South America. We know that orcas prey on moose, which are pretty massive animals. If there's other things and stuff that Native Americans said that would eat them and stuff and prey on other things like sea serpents and great horned snakes and water panthers and stuff, maybe those things would also eat and prey upon Sasquatches and stuff. They're not it's too much bigger that they kind of eat and stuff. Some of these descriptions of these sea serpents are immensely long and stuff, 20 40 feet and stuff, or larger. But that is very interesting. You know who does a lot of work on that and who has done a lot of work of that over the decades is Igor Botsev from Russia. And he has done a lot of work of showing these braids all over in different countries, not only in the US, but over in Eurasia. And it is pretty fascinating that it does show that something is going on. We think it's Sasquatch and stuff, but I know some cultures think that fairies also do those sort of things. But I tell you what, when my first encounter happened, the area I was in, there was a horse pen way back there, and it would take me an hour to get back there, the way I would navigate and stuff. But one particular time, when I discovered this horse pen, I had walked into it. I thought it was just a fence out there and stuff. And back in the day, I would, being 13, 14, 15, fences didn't really mean much when I'm out Sasquatching. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just, Sasquatching, right? What am I doing? Just out walking in the woods. And so, I walked into this horse pen, and basically, I turned and looked and seen a silhouette of I thought it was a Sasquatch. At first, it made my heart jump, and then the horse turned, and it was a horse, and it was an older horse, and he was friendly and stuff, and came right up to me. I was able to pet it, and there's two other horses that walked up, and one was a younger horse who was kind of huffing and puffing and jumping a little bit, and he was not as friendly as the other guys and stuff. But a Sasquatch, horses are smart. Horses are smart and stuff, and horses who smell certain animals and Sasquatch and stuff, get freaked out. But at the same time, Sasquatches could be human enough at certain gestures and interaction. If you feed horses and stuff too, you gain their friendship. It can be easily able to get used to you enough to, hey, even though this person's not human, they're feeding me apples, they're feeding me different stuff, and all they're doing is petting me and braiding my hair. It's not so bad. A horse would get used to that and stuff. A horse wouldn't mind that and stuff as long as there's nothing bad going on. But on the flip side of that, in Michigan, on the flip side of that, there is reports of that. There's reports here in Michigan that we have, thanks to the data mine of Val from Bigfoot Gumshoe Guy's Corner, Bigfoot reports and data on Facebook. His work and data shows there's been several reports here in Michigan over the last 100 years and earlier that horses have been attacked, horses' necks have been broke, their backs have been broke, they have been gutted and ripped out. One was actually found hung in the barn and stuff, with a hairy man and stuff around. So they're not always friendly to these things. There's a lot of reports of them killing livestock, killing cows, dogs, chickens, a bunch of things. Ruthless and aggressive and vindictive. So it's not always friendly interaction, coexistence at all. But you have to think that we're destroying their land. We're developing our buildings every decade. There's more and more and more neighborhoods and suburbs pushing the country areas back. I mean, they're losing their land every single day. I mean, I could see why some would get pissed off and get enough's enough, and human interactions being shot at, pollution, a bunch of things, how people treat the environment. I personally think the way I've had encounters here, that if they observe you in the environment and you're, kind and courteous and you're, I don't know, maybe I don't think they mind speak, but like animals, like a dog, sometimes dogs have feelings about people that they kind of know this person's good, this person's bad. Sometimes that's out of whack because dogs can be finicky around kids, and it doesn't mean a freaking kid's bad, right? But at the same time, maybe they pick up on some sort of things, and we've had some pretty interesting interactions. Luckily, we haven't ran into ones that are homicidal and maniac. Homicidal maniac and have some sort of psychosis because they hate humans and stuff and they just want revenge. I mean, I'm certain that exists. I'm certain there's some that don't give a crap about humans and just want to be left alone. And if you knock on their door long enough, they're going to just come rip your head off because they're annoyed because you won't leave them alone. Others want to interact. Others will, like me and Jason's encounters case, will show themselves to us, allow themselves to be shown. Hopefully that wasn't a distraction for the third one to come around us, which it did, because I heard it and it crossed in front of Jason's path. He's seen it. Hopefully that wasn't just a distraction for them to practice how to distract two humans, and a third one can come up. And I don't think so. But at the same time, that scary thought is in my head. I could have went missing with Jason. They could have took us. But everything they did with it, like I said, if they want you, they're going to get you, and they're not going to announce themselves. They're not going to let you know. They're not going to scream and be loud and do that coming up to you, giving you opportunity to fight back. They're just going to do it. So the way they announced themselves in the interaction, I truly felt that it was good. It was okay. It was calm, cool, and collective. I was hoping for a lot more back at camp, but with more people, they don't feel comfortable with more people. They don't feel comfortable for whatever reason. It was me and Jason. For whatever reason, they weren't comfortable with everyone else. and the more guns and stuff. The one rifle, I guess, was okay. I don't know, for whatever reason. Again, there's so many things that comes to every interaction that you have. It's ridiculous. There's so much variables in every single thing that happens at every single moment. If you go to a place without, keep going to the same place over and over and over and over again, you're going to have a lot better chance. The variables are going to be in your favor because there's going to be less variables. The creatures are going to get more used to you and more used to you and more used to you. That's going to help. It's going to cut down a lot. And that's the key, is getting them used to you, and hopefully, they can be open to interaction eventually and stuff. So I see I think we got some questions here. I think some interesting comments and stuff. Well, if this is true, Brandon, then good luck. But they are as slick as our owl poop, and honestly, I think if you could, if you succeed, you're most likely just going to get ran down by other ones. They're not going to be happy, at all, and stuff. But I know there's encounters that people have shot them and stuff. I know people who have lived, I guess, supposedly. I'm not. This is secondhand stories, but I believe the person who's researching and doing it, who's investigating that person here in Michigan. And long story short, got bum rushed by two and took a few shots and shot one in the gut and the kneecap or whatever, the leg. And they both ran away, and he was able to escape too with his life. But that was maybe because they initiated the violence first and stuff. If you initiate violence first on them, I don't think you're going to make it out of the woods. I think if one, again, everything's crazy, situational, and everything's different. But if there's one that's being hot-headed and it's crazy and stuff already, and then just randomly attacks people, I think collectively as a group, they might not seek revenge if that one dies. They might take the body and stuff. They might, of course, take the body and dispose of it and stuff. They don't want us to have it, but I don't think they might not seek revenge and stuff because as a group, it's probably whatever's good for the group, for survival and stuff. They have rules and stuff, it seems like, because we would have more conflict. We would have more random kidnappings, more random attacks, more random houses would be vandalized and broke into. It would be happening so much more that they couldn't hide it than they already are. They do cover things up as much as they can. It happens. It'd be happening too much that it wouldn't be able to be covered up, though. And people would have evidence. There would be videos, and there would be too much stuff happening. You can't censor all the videos. These videos would be shot live. These videos would be put on Facebook Live. Other people would be copying these videos and saving them. They could not stop it and stuff. But it doesn't happen because Sasquatches as a whole, all of them as a species, they generally don't do that stuff. There's some type of rule, I like to say rules in place that they follow, and it's down the board. They do it in Florida and stuff, how they interact with humans, how they engage with us in the woods. This like step-by-step rule system of you have to, not let us see this, don't be seen by humans, don't let them hear you, you stay this far back. If you're going to watch them, make sure, you parallel them this way and stuff, certain aspects of how they conduct themselves around us and stuff. There's no rogue males going to war with us. There's no constant warfare, constantly women being stolen, houses being broken into and stuff, more than there is. There are reports and stuff. There's 2-year-olds who go missing and they're found in a swamp the next day, 7 miles away. No 2-year-old can walk that far. I don't know if it's, whatever it is, it just seems like there's this process and procedures where they follow on humans, and it doesn't always happen, but it seems like if they were all mean and vindictive and monsters, then they would be monsters all the time, and we would know that there was monsters out there roaming around, but it doesn't seem to be that way. Although they will do whatever they want and stuff, and they will, steal stuff, and take things. And if you have extra and stuff, they take it and stuff, take guard and stuff. And sometimes they kill your dog, they eat your dog, they eat things, they eat, even eat people. So it's very very mysterious and stuff, because we just don't know. And this is a very interesting point. We can dive down this rabbit hole a little bit. I was just on a show and we talked about this a little bit. It's all, what if these creatures, Sasquatch, these other humanoid entities that we encounter are, demonic beings, and they have rules that they have to, obey by, and, tell you in symbols and stuff like that. Okay, for example, is ghost hunting. So you go to a house and stuff, and it's at night, and you're investigating, and you don't see anything, but you experience stuff, you hear stuff. Maybe stuff's being thrown, stuff's being moved. You have audio of voices and stuff, EVPs and stuff that you're getting, right? And then sometimes you have physical interactions. You get scratched. You have cold feelings. You have blah blah blah. You see things, apparitions and stuff. You don't have most of the time there's no clear picture of what you see. It's just glimpses or shadows of mist and blah blah blah. And then Bigfooting, okay. We go out in the woods. Go out of the woods at night. Go out in the woods during the day. You don't have a clear view or understanding of what you're actually going after. You hear stuff. You experience stuff. You have stuff thrown at you. Stuff's moving. You can capture audio of it moving, of voices, of these things. You can get glimpses and stuff, right? There's a lot of similarities. You have both in paranormal ghost hunting and Bigfoot. You have electronic failures with electronics, camera failures, audio failures, corrupted files. I have that problem every time we go out. Every time something major happens and stuff, I expect that one of the files and stuff that we shot, hopefully not the stuff that has evidence, is going to be corrupted in some way that I can't use it. And it's happened. And it's weird. There's just all sorts of things that happen. And, it's just weird how, ghost hunting and Bigfoot hunting is kind of the same. A lot of same stuff happens, even though we're supposed to be, investigating two different entities, right? Some people think that Bigfoot can follow you back home if you're 50 miles away and stuff. Or, if Bigfoot marks you and that sort of thing. Well, if it's a physical flesh and blood creature, how is that happening, right? There's the whole mind speak aspect people get into, that they're getting mind spoke by these creatures. So, there's a lot of things out in the forest, who knows if there could be spiritual stuff that you're actually getting into. And some people think that Bigfoot is spiritual. Some native tribes, some of them, not all of them, some tribes, all the tribes thought different things about Sasquatch. All of them thought practically different things about Sasquatch. Some thought it was a flesh and blood creature. Some thought it was a monster, a cannibal giant, a flesh and blood cannibal giant with no magic powers, Some thought they were spiritual guardians of the forest. Some thought they were an elder brother tribe of Native Americans that had special powers. They had magic. Some thought they were evil spirits. You know, some thought they were messengers of the forest and harbor. Some thought they were harbingers of bad news, omens of death. Some just thought they were just flesh and blood giants, an elder tribe who should be left alone and not much else. So, whole list of different things going on when it comes to that. There's stories of Native Americans basically going to war with these creatures, and whole villages of Native Americans being wiped out by Sasquatches. Multiple, 20 Sasquatches would come in and wipe out the whole villages, and none of the bow and arrows would be able to pierce their skin because they would cover themselves in mud and stones. And you hear the stone giants and stuff in different Native cultures because they coat themselves with rocks and this, I guess, natural armor they would coat themselves in. And some stories, it gets graphic stuff, but some stories, this warrior and stuff lost his wife and stuff, and the Sasquatch mounted the woman's parts on his cave wall. The Sasquatch was very human-like and stuff. I believe he also had a fire and stuff. He made a home in the cave and was very, mounted the woman parts on the cave, showing her off. And this native warrior, basically, long story short, killed this Sasquatch by shooting an arrow through its butthole. And basically the legend of the, if you dissect it, basically, if a Sasquatch is all armored up and stuff, the only way to kill one sometimes is to sneak up on it and shoot it in the butthole where it's not armored, it's thin-skinned, and then it's easily pierced by an arrow. Probably can get infected and die. Even though there's a legend and mythology stacked up on top of all that and stuff. But it's very interesting. Of course, this Sasquatch, the stone giant, could talk in native tongue and stuff, and was a very evil one and stuff, of course. Pretty much and stuff. And you can find different stories of these giants and these stone giants and going to war with different braves and particular little either quirks or magic or little things that have to that they do to be able to win or to outfox these creatures, or so how to trick them and stuff with being guile and charm. Because there's those legends is most of the time those cultures where if they're not outright cannibal giant demons and stuff, they seem to have interactions in their stories of them talking stuff. Usually when there's stories of they're just cannibal giants and they're evil demons and they just eat us, is because there's nonstop conflict and warfare, and there's never really been interaction, or it's long forgotten. It's just been warfare, and these damn giants are eating us and stuff, and we're slaughtering them because we don't want them to kill us, and then you'll hear stories about lighting caves on fire to asphyxiate these giants and shooting them as they run out of the caves and burning them and stuff, because of all this conflict. You hear this all the way from tribes up in Alaska to tribes in the Southwest, tribes in the Southeast, Northeast, Midwest, out in the plains. The Lovelock Caves of Nevada, of those tribes of the Paiute. Very famous one. That's probably the most famous one that everyone references. Is the Lovelock Caves and the story of the Paiute Indians fighting the giants, pushing them into those caves, driving them into the caves, lining it with wood and debris and lighting on fire, calling to them. They called for them to surrender, to come out of the cave, but they chose not to. They lit the cave on fire, and then they shot any that came out after that. And there's other stories from Alaska and of Canada and different places of that same story. And it's not that same story from the Paiute, because if these tribes in Alaska are telling that story of their own people, they spoke completely different languages that are not related to the Paiute, and they're talking about two different time frames of the same basic thing of these giants and kidnapping us and eating us, and we push them into the caves and light the caves on fire. These stories, makes it even more valid. It makes it more even real. It's not just bullcrap, made up stuff. And it's not some ancient mythology made up from Native Americans who crossed the land bridge that all the tribes just happen to remember. That's not the case at all. So, even the tribes, actually, the tribes in the Alaska, some of these tribes talk about some of these Sasquatches and these giant apes having tails, tails like lemurs, actually. This is kind of interesting because you don't hear that really anywhere else. But there's some stories of them having tails, and they talk about it and stuff. And these different tribes of these different areas and of the Northwest Territories of Canada talk about these creatures living in caves that have tails, and they sound like Sasquatch. So it's very interesting when you can look up this stuff online. A lot of Native American tribes are putting all of their tribes' history, mythology, and language online for free because they're dying. There's not enough new Native Americans being born to, obviously keep this stuff afloat. And also, there's not enough public interest in it to publicly fund them to keep this stuff afloat. So they're going to put it on the internet to keep it there forever, documented. So you can look at your state and look for Pacific tribes, and maybe you have an area you go in Sasquatch hunting. You can look at the historical tribes that lived in that area. You can try to learn some language, some words, some key different phrases, a sentence and stuff, and throw that into your research and see if you get results. I believe that it's definitely has gotten results. If you guys heard those clips, I speak Native American, and we've got some grunts and different interactions from it and stuff. Some confirmation that makes me think and 100% believe it's a Sasquatch we're interacting with and not a deer. Okay, a deer is not responding to the Native American that I just said. Okay, a deer's not picking up a big rock and throwing it into a creek. A rock, I should say, a small boulder that if it got thrown at me would just annihilate me, completely just break me down to nothing, to mush. If you stacked up a bunch of people and lined them up and he bowling balled that rock, it would probably go through a number of people and just destroy us. Okay, just how much force this and how heavy this thing, and where it threw and where it landed, the amount of physical force and strength is mind-blowing, and it's scary. That's not a deer. I can 100% say Sasquatch, because no human is able to pick up a rock like that and throw it. I should know because I fancy myself a kind of a strong person. I work out and stuff, and I kind of know, what normal humans are able to do. You can watch a strongman competition, the strongest people in the world. They're not able to throw boulders the way that we have stuff recorded being thrown into creeks. They're not able, no human's able to physically pick up and throw things that like a Sasquatch is able to. So I'm 100% say that's Sasquatch doing that, or some other cryptid, I guess, But most other cryptids from what people are reporting and everything else, they're not open to interaction like Sasquatch is. A lot of all these other reports are very negative and not interactive like Sasquatch can be. So So awesome, man. You guys can check out everything from Cryptovania TV on YouTube and on their website. They got a lot of different awesome videos and research stuff, and where time it goes out. So I recommend you guys check out Tommy and Jason Frost, I believe, and Cryptovania TV. So check them out. They're doing good stuff, always going out. And yeah, we've documented structures on the channel. It seems like they make them. I've had an interaction where they had one and they kept changing it every day I went there for a week, and they would one structure I found, they put a pine tree branch in a structure that had maple and oak branches, and there was no pine tree within 200 yards in any direction and stuff, so that's out of place, and if you're not perceptive enough, you wouldn't have picked up on that. You just would walk by and there's just a bunch of debris, whatever. Well, there's a pine tree branch in all that, and there's no pine trees anywhere. Can you find a pine tree? Go find one. That's abnormal. That's not normal. A deer didn't do that. You think a deer just broke a pine tree branch off and carried it 200 yards away and just knitted its way through this tree manipulation, this tree structure? I mean, let's get it on camera, I guess, right? And trying to get evidence of these things on camera and it's hard enough. We're trying to get, we can barely get glimpses. And people are always throwing it. Well, we need, how can you say a Sasquatch did if you don't have it on camera? You never seen one do it. Well, I've never really seen a Sasquatch in the daytime, and enough to really even get it on camera, let alone watch them to build a damn tree structure. Just so I can say 100%, yeah, it was it. But I had interaction enough that I feel I can say 100% in that case that was a Sasquatch. So, it's kind of give and take. In this community, there's a lot of people. We all need to come together. There's a lot of research going on, a lot of researchers and stuff. There's no standards of evidence. There's no standards of acceptance of things, of evidence, of people's stories even. There's these researchers over here who have all these stories and they want people to believe them, but they're not going to believe me or anyone else in our stories because our evidence isn't good enough. And if I say this is 100% Sasquatch, well, in their mind, you can't say 100% Sasquatch, and that means that you're by default not doing good research, and by default probably not worth the time, and could be a hoaxer, blah blah blah, because you're saying it's Sasquatch. Again, that's not really moving the ball forward or doing anything but muddying the water. Why should I believe your stories at that point, right? Isn't this what we all have, is stories and evidence of these stories that you want to believe, and the evidence that's not good enough to even be scientifically proven, right? And then we get all caught up on it and stuff. So, but we all need to come together and be like standards of audio, most, we can't even accept that, like the Sierra sounds are 100% Bigfoot, or all these other classic old audio sounds are a Bigfoot, or like the Ohio Bigfoot call. Some people don't think that is. There was another Bigfoot call that recently, I don't know the name, but it could be fake and stuff. A lot is brought to my attention. It's very interesting and stuff. It could be like a rope being dragged through something and stuff, and it sounds like a roar. There's no standards of acceptance that we can compare something to. So like when I get evidence, right, what am I supposed to compare it to? There's nothing out there is 100% Bigfoot. So What am I supposed to compare myself to so I can say it's 100% Bigfoot? I'm supposed to hand it over to what? Scientific people who are going to tell me, yeah, I don't know what it is. Or yeah, it could be this. If it's animal, they're going to tell me if it's animal. If it's not, well, they're not going to say it's Bigfoot. They're not ever going to be able to prove it's Bigfoot because they're not going to say it. So, again, there's no standards of evidence of acceptance. There's no way anyone else could prove that this is Bigfoot. If I think it's Bigfoot, and if I think 100% it's Bigfoot, then I might say that it's 100% Bigfoot. But that's based on my opinion, of course, my theories, my experience, and all that. I don't expect other people to believe it. And I wouldn't believe other people if I think that they were full of bullshit. So don't expect everyone to believe me. But at the same time, I try to look at every evidence without bias and stuff. But usually, hoaxers are hoaxers. So I don't know. We got come together and try to group together our evidence, and maybe if I have audio that I think is Bigfoot, and other people have audio they think it's Bigfoot, and it sounds the same, and there's enough audio that it's yeah, it sounds like this particular grunt, or sounds like this call. Yeah. We get like 20 different researchers come together with the same dang audio file. Some big wigs, some smart guys, not some con artist people, not some of these shady people. Maybe we can come to agreement like, hey, okay, let's accept this as a Sasquatch call. So every time we get a Sasquatch call that sounds like this, we can just say, it's most likely a Sasquatch call. And then we can keep it as evidence, and then we can show the scientists and all that when we have multiple files to show them, and actual agreements, and files from Washington, files from Pennsylvania, files from Michigan and stuff. Because right now it's just nothing. So yeah, I mean, it's just we got to come together, and and that's not really going to happen because there's no anyone can be a researcher, anyone can go out research, anyone can just start getting evidence and audio, and then anyone can claim that it's Bigfoot. And maybe they're generally trying and they wholeheartedly believe that it is Bigfoot, but they're just mistaken because they are not experienced enough. They don't know what they're doing. I don't want to try to come on here and brag like I know what I'm doing and I'm some master at this. I'm not. I have just been going out in the woods by myself since I was 13 and happened to experience things along the way. And I feel like, I have something to say because I've experienced a little bit of things. So, just how it is. That's just how my life is. So, some people could do this all their life and never experience anything, I can tell you that, every time I go out, I don't know how many percent chances I have to encounter something, but it's higher than most, I guess. I don't know why. I'm not trying to BS anyone. It's just how it is, So I'm trying to get on camera, and I want to invite people out there because, I don't want to be the only one out there and experiencing stuff. And there's plenty of people who experience stuff with me, and there's going to be plenty more who come to Michigan over this next year, who will experience stuff, if we go out and stuff. If you guys show up in Michigan and you say, hey, man, I'm here and stuff, and, absolutely just tear me away from everything, and, we'll go out and hopefully we can experience stuff. And I think we have good chances and stuff. So there's plenty of places that are gnarlies, that are crazy, there are places unexpectedly that would have Bigfoot that you would just laugh and say, "What? You're taking me here? There's no Bigfoot here." And I would say, "Well, on any given time we go here, there's a percentage chance we could run into them. Maybe this one time is a really good chance, and you would be surprised. Or we could go to the best place in Michigan that I would think, and have nothing happen. Sometimes and it sucks, but." Generally, there's places where every single time I've personally been there, and 99, I would say 90% of the time that everyone else has been to some of these places, stuff happens. There's places in Michigan that seem like there's a crap load of missing people at. That has me on precaution of why are all these missing people and stuff. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jim. I don't think I have a knack for it. I just think that once you do something for so long, and you actually are happy to study and get into it. And as much as when I was a kid to what I am now, it's not work. It's not a hassle. It doesn't become frustrating as much and stuff. I mean, there was years, in between moves and stuff, moving to different places and stuff, that I wouldn't have any interaction, maybe a whole year, a year and a half, and then I would have something happen, and then finally things would finally pick up. Particular time when I moved, like moved to Battle Creek and stuff, didn't have nothing happen for a whole year and a half, and then all of a sudden started hearing stuff, started experiencing stuff, and thought I even seen red eye shine. But at the time, I wasn't really sure. I was for sure I've seen it and stuff, but this whole eye shine and Bigfoot at the time, was, well, I don't think so. But now, after experiencing the same thing in Florida, I'll show the clip right now. We captured this on colored night vision, and I could see this with my naked eye of this red eye shine. It kind of got me thinking, there's more to it. And of course, there's other people who have experienced this that I believe. And let me find it. So, right here. So, talk over this. So you're going to look for the middle of the screen right there with audio. Or let me play this one.
I got eye shine right in front of me. I said, there's eye shine right here, left of me. Directly left. One eyeball.
Can you see what it is?
No?
Can you see what it is?
I think it sees the IR light.
So in that particular moment, we have you can watch that on the YouTube, and you can watch the full unedited raw clips of everything that happened there, and all the camera shake and everything. And then you can watch different parts that I made about that, what I think is going on. And we were having activity before this. Long story short, this was in Florida during the 168 Bigfoot Odyssey, first time they went down there. And we were hearing stuff walking around and stuff. And I walked up to that thing, and I could see it. in the thing. We started recording, and it took me back a little bit. As you can see, I got to breathe a little bit because I'm shocked at what I'm seeing, honestly, because I've seen a lot of animals out in the woods, and I've shined lights on animals in the woods a lot, even with IR. I've never seen them reflect red like that with an IR light or with a regular white light. I have a this red light right here. It's really, really badass, and sees eye shine at multiple 100 yards away, 300 yards away. This will make animal eye shine red, or more like a laser dot, amberish red. It's not really true red. That will make all animals, everything that I hit this with, nocturnal animals, it will shine red, that color. A white light or a green light. Green lights typically make animal eyes green, and white lights can make animal eyes white or amberish, and even green, and so and owls can have reddish eye, reddish eyes and stuff, but it's not super reflective back like what people are seeing and like what that is and stuff. And their eyes don't reflect red with different colors that you use every single time and stuff. They'll change with the different colors and stuff. So if you hit them with IR and stuff, I'm not sure exactly how far and stuff they would shine and stuff. It'd be interesting to test all that, see, which it could happen. I have some actually ideas how that could happen, but it's neither here nor there, and it's not going to happen on this stream. But there is some, we could go to maybe to some zoos and ask some zookeepers, hey, can I film some owls at nighttime with my IR camera and IR light? If you could see them with your physical eye, if it's reflecting IR light, and if it's super red and you can see it behind brush and stuff that you think you would be able to see it behind brush, that would be able to prove some things. Some colored night vision, again, could help too, if it's able to pick the colored night vision, what color it is, reflecting how far of a distance are you able to pick that up? Are you able to pick that up with your naked eye? If not, if you're not able to pick it up with your naked eye, reflecting it off an owl's eye, well, then I have a video where I was able to see it with my naked eye, and it's reflecting and stuff like that too. So yeah. We're just looking at chat. I'm glad. I appreciate everyone who's watching and is in chat right now, interacting. I put the link in the chat earlier for anyone to come on. I'm pretty sure I did. I hope I did. If I didn't, I'll put it in the chat now. I thought I did that earlier, but there is the link for our merchandise store, for anyone to help support the store. If you guys want to help donate some money and stuff, get yourself a shirt, and help us and fund our research, and get yourself something nice too. There should be more stuff coming up on there. Right now we have about 15 items with one design. Unfortunately, they were having something technical issue going on and stuff, so I wasn't able to get more going on, but it should be hopefully working now. But basically, you know, when it's able to going through the process of me creating the thing, it wasn't fully uploading it, and then it would get stuck on trying to process and stuff, which happens. So we will continue to work at that. But you guys can go there and support us and get yourself some merchandise at the same time, so you actually get something for your money. And if you guys actually just want to support and not get any merchandise, and just directly just support us. You guys can go to the Facebook page of the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. You guys can message me that directly. There's a donation button that way. You guys can join the Facebook group. You can find me, of course, and donate that way too. We actually have a Patreon you guys can join if you want to. We don't really put too much on there because we don't really like to have exclusive content and pay to watch, a paywall and stuff like that. We're not that big and stuff yet, you know. We're not super famous and all that. But we have the option able, if you just want to donate that way, you're able to donate a monthly thing and then any more additionally. That is the only reason why we have it. We also are doing an event. We're doing the Michigan Bigfoot and Dogman Conference here next year. So we're getting ready for that. And we're going to be doing that event by the it's going to be the our latest event from the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. We took a hiatus this last year because of drama and all the fiasco that we dealt with, we've talked about, and other con artist people that we don't want to be affiliated with and stuff. We're going to plan and do things the right way and not just be trying to steal everyone's money and be greedy about things. But we want to put on a actual event that is informative and it's spreading awareness and the truth about things, that these things are not always friendly and stuff. You know, I've been blessed with a lot of good interaction, but I am reminded a lot that the data shows that these things are very aggressive and vindictive even, and very bloodthirsty at times, you know, cold-hearted. So the truth is that I would recommend that you don't take your kids out to Bigfoot Explorer because it's dangerous. You know, would you take your kids out and go chase after a grizzly bear at nighttime with flashlights? If the answer is no, then you should probably not do that with a Sasquatch, you know? Now, if you're in an area that you've been for a lot of years and maybe you feel comfortable, maybe, you know, I break that rule too. I would take my kids on a trail. Now, I'm not going to go Sasquatching, but I might walk the kids on the trail and do, you know, a hike in the area of Sasquatch activity, but I'm not Sasquatching and stuff. And if that day arises, then, you know, it's going to be obviously understood to the kids that, you know, these things are like wild animals and potentially, you know, something bad could happen. You know, that should be fully understood. So this type of event is more about awareness and stuff, and it's not just a hippie festival, basically. You know, but we want to have fun and have an event. And it's going to be a way to help support the Lost Cryptids research and get some people coming together, and more importantly, as important, is afterwards is the expedition that we're going to go on, and hopefully all these researchers can come along, collaborate, and we can go out in the field and get evidence of Sasquatch activity here in Michigan, you know? So that is what we're going to be doing next year and stuff, and I will get to this. I will get to that here in a second. And so that's what we got planned this next year, and we're taking the whole year to actually, it's been more than that because I've been planning this whole last year and stuff, and observing and looking and watching and studying and trying to come up with my plan to make sure this event is done the way I feel like it should be done, in the way that I don't want it to be done, what I've seen and stuff. So we're gonna make sure to do it the right way, and so we're gonna invite you guys to help support all that. And so we are going to need help, you know. I'm me and the two guys, you know, are going to try to do this, and yeah, we're going to probably need some help. And if you guys want to help, it'd be very much appreciated and stuff. But we're not going to worry about that right now. So I'll answer Jay Fitz's question. Blake, have you ever seen anything white? No, I have not, because I have not really seen a Bigfoot in the daytime clear enough. What I thought I've seen a fleeting glimpse of one going into the tree, but that's not good enough for me to 100% say that that was a Bigfoot. 100%. I believe it was a Bigfoot. I can believe it 100%, but it's still not good enough for me for a daytime sighting the way I want it. Now at nighttime, I have seen them. It was dark colored. It probably could have been all brown or black. I don't know. It was all dark, but I've seen the silhouette. I've seen the eye shine, the face. And when it looked like this, this massive elongated head, massive forehead from here to here was massive the way that it looked. It's about as good as you can get at nighttime before, besides getting them in an actual flashlight lit area or them standing right up close to you that you can see in the moonlight or with our crappy headlamps. So, no, anything, nothing white. And this is a good point, is looking at polar bears with a thermal to see if they're the white hair theory, to see if the theory that these Sasquatches have these clear white hairs like polar bears that could be diffusing light, which does polar bears it doesn't happen though. So already they're going to be different because we shoot polar bears with cameras and stuff all the time, and there's no light diffusion there, I believe, to the same degree that we think Sasquatch's hairs does in the forest canopy and stuff. So, but the insulation of heat and the way that maybe thermals are not working on Sasquatches. I mean, I've experiences where we would assume that the thermals would have picked these things up more. And I've seen one on thermal. It came out of this pixelation cloud, and we kind of did this and went to this tree line and stuff. It wasn't hard to see that or anything. It was just too far away to really be picked up. But you could see the heat signature. So I don't know. I think you should be able to see the heat signature because they're a big, hairy heat magnet that's going to be soaking up the heat rays all day, and they're not really going to be cooled off until several hours after dark, like at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And then it gets cold. There's water and dew everywhere. You can get wet by walking through the fields and stuff. Then they'll be really cold, and maybe on thermal it'd be harder. But everything with everything warm-blooded has to stay at a consistent warm temperature, and that temperature is hot enough to be picked up on thermal. And I don't believe I'm pretty sure we have video and stuff of polar bears on thermal and stuff that you can watch from like National Geographic or something. I'm pretty sure there's videos out there on the internet. And I don't think Sasquatch hair insulates the same way as polar bear hair does, because there's reports of like their hairs like not on their face, so that would be not insulated the same way. And plus their hair is different stuff. Polar bear have fur, and Sasquatches have hair, which is different, and it's strangly and it's nappy compared to animal fur. So it's going to have different qualities and different properties of heat, trapping heat in and letting heat out and all that. So that reflects and refracts and all that. So we think that Sasquatch hair is translucent and hollow, and then maybe that's affecting the heat a bit more than what normal hair would do, and then it's doing the light refracting and reflecting and transfusion and destroying the light as something that is unique to the Sasquatch hair for some reason, and this is some type of camouflage, and could possibly explain why people think that they're cloaking, or there's the shimmering image of a Sasquatch, glittering, shimmering, why they're different colors of shades of green and gray, and why people think they have white skin or gray skin and stuff. It's really hard to, we can't prove it and stuff. A lot of people have Sasquatch hair. And if you do different light spectrums on the hair, it does different stuff. So, and some people have pointed out that maybe they're cold-blooded creatures, or some of these creatures, that we think are Sasquatches, are other cryptids that are cold-blooded, where they wouldn't really be picked up on thermal as much. It'd be harder being cold-blooded. Their hair would have these different types of properties and stuff. These more insulating properties could be more attributed. This regenerative property stuff, if they're more like reptilian, why sometimes they get shot and they don't seem to die, and the Miller report has some ideas about them being able to healing properties and super generative healing and stuff like that. And being a cold-blooded reptilian, maybe they could go underwater and breathe a lot more, maybe even breathe underwater, but actually hold their breath significantly more, to where they're actually going underwater in underwater caves and stuff like that much more efficiently than a non-reptilian Bigfoot would be able to, because a Bigfoot can hold its breath for a long time, but it can't breathe underwater. And most reptoids by far can hold their breath longer than any other species comparatively. So, so it's just some thoughts and theories that other people have. I don't really believe that Bigfoots are reptilians personally, but that opinion of mine might change if evidence and my experience forces me to change my opinion. So, but I'm open to these things, because if I come across these things, at least I'm open to, like, hey, then I come across evidence that points me to, wow, maybe they are reptilian, or wow, maybe they are doing this thing, or this hair does this, or the hair does completely nothing. If I come across evidence in my experience points me to this direction, then I guess I will be forced, and I'll tell you guys that this is the direction I'm going based on this experience, this evidence, and what I'm feeling. I can tell you that one experience, I think I've said not often enough, but several people experienced it. And we'll get Bill back on here because he's seen it with me. When we were we were in this active area. When we turned, we were going along this trail and stuff on the 2-track, and as we're going like this with our headlamps, okay, we see a figure running in front of our headlamps. And he stays in front as we turn, and we stop because there's a fork in the road that goes down this way, and then one that goes straight. And we needed to go straight, and we didn't keep going and following whatever it was. We should have. Even Bill made the comment, I should have just kept going. It looked like an upright figure, shadow figure of something shimmering image. I can't say it was a Bigfoot because it didn't look like a Bigfoot, but it was an upright, tall, humanoid figure, all black, running. But it did kind of look like it was phasing in and out. but I can't say that was Bigfoot because I have no other evidence to would point me to a Sasquatch. Why wouldn't that be a shadow person? People see that same sort of description running around houses and running around graveyards and all sorts of things. Did we have Sasquatch experiences not in that same area, but around that area during that expedition? Yeah, and we actually have evidence and audio that we've played and stuff, but it doesn't mean that particular encounter was a Sasquatch. Could have been a spiritual thing. It could have been an illusion, or I don't believe it was, but I don't know. It was just weird. I'll get Bill back on. We'll talk about it and stuff. I believe we did talk about it in interviews after that. This would have been about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There might have been some interviews. I might have to put a link in the description after the fact of where you could find those things. But I'll get Bill on here and talk about it. And then I believe either James was with us, sitting with us, or there was someone else who had seen it. Yeah, in our group. So, and the reason I don't bring that encounter up because I'm not going to say it's Sasquatch. Now, maybe if we would have turned and it would have stopped and it was a Sasquatch standing there and then it would have cloaked and done all this, then I could come on here and say, yeah, I seen a Sasquatch do that. But I would say that I've seen a shadow person type of entity or circumstance in a Bigfoot hotspot area. And we also seen orbs in that and around those areas too. But I'm not going to say that a Sasquatch can transform into an orb, and that's what I seen. I will say that I seen orbs in the hotspot of a Sasquatch area. A big orb, like that, behind a thicket. I had to do a double take because it was during the day, but it was very dark, dense forest, and I did a double take because I seen it. It was behind the thickets, and it was this whitish gray color, like if you have a fog light in fog, or if you have like one of those fog lights in water and stuff. Sometimes it's very smoky white color, and it wasn't given a beam of light. It wasn't given a light beam source, and that's what caught really. I think back to is there was no light beam source at all, and when I did that second look and stuff, it was gone. And other people had experienced an orb floating around camp and stuff at different times, different days. So things happen out there, and things happen in Sasquatch areas, around Sasquatches. Maybe they're related, maybe they're not. It'd be interesting how they coexist, or if they are related, or how they interact. If Sasquatch, sees orbs and stuff, what exactly is going on? What are the orbs phenomenon? I'm just reading some of these comments and stuff. If you guys have questions, all capitals would help me spot it a little bit easier. I know you guys are talking to each other in chat, and so yeah. If you're talking about the that shadow thing that ran, no, it was just organically. While it was happening, it was like, is it really happening? Are we really seeing what we're seeing? I mean, no one's saying anything. It was only after we stopped and then continued. We didn't see nothing. It just kind of just disappeared, or wherever it went. And then it was kind of like an afterthought, like, oh, what was that? Did you guys see that? And then, I should have just kept driving and turning and seeing what it was. But it had kept right in front of like the light beam, so when you have lights out and stuff, and it's that beam of light right there, and it's just right on that side of it, not in the light, just out right on side of it, and keeping with it. It was so odd and stuff. That's why it was just, it could have been something spiritual. I don't know, man. It was just weird. Bigfoot is one aspect of the paranormal. Other than Bigfoot, what else are you into? I don't really get into ghosts and stuff because you don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what you're experiencing. It could be very evil. I think generally and stuff that takes you down to demonic entities who are just doing bad things. Dogman, we get into dogman and stuff because me and my girlfriend seen a wolf cross the road in front of our car, running on all fours, 100% a wolf, 100% natural looking wolf that fluidly got up and ran like a person on two legs, and its arms running like this, standing upright. I mean, so we get into that, we investigate that. Not so much aliens and UFOs anymore, but when I was a kid and stuff, I used to get into that a little bit more. I filmed. We have a YouTube video on here called UFO in Michigan above the treetops, and you can see the solid light of the UFO flying across the sky, hovering across the sky, and then you can see the plane blinking. They legally have to do. All aircraft have to have certain regulations they follow at nighttime. This plane, it was amazing. This plane flew by the UFO, and then the UFO, of course, disappears. I've experienced some UFOs as a kid. I was very young. My brother was just born, so I was probably 5, and I remember looking up. I was shooting my BB gun up in the sky, right? So what goes up must come down. So all these BBs are coming down somewhere in the neighborhood. But I'm shooting the BBs up to the sky, and I happened to notice that there was this big metal cigar shaped UFO up in the sky in between clouds. And most importantly, what I remember and noticed about it was all these panels of different colored lights, square panels, all these different panels. And there was all these panels, and there was 2 rows. There was a bottom row, there was a top row. And there was all these different panels of lights, and they're all different colors, and they're all blinking different colors and stuff. And it's just flying in between clouds, and then it flies in between clouds and just disappears. And, I don't notice it anymore. And I just go back to shooting. Well, then now I'm shooting BBs up at that thing, but I'm shooting it at the sky. And I remember that because it was just, and I talked to my dad about UFOs, and then of course get to watching UFOs and all these programs and stuff. Possibly was watching it before, I think too, but I remember distinctively seeing that cigar-shaped UFO. I mean, it must have been hundreds of feet long. I mean, it was massive. It was far up there, but those panel lights, those colored lights were square. There was a top row and a bottom row, and they're all different colors, and reds and blues and blinking. And another one was when I was I think in maybe 4th or 5th grade. And I think I was in 5th grade, and I was at my grandma's house, and my parents and stuff, I think they just went to the store, so it was me hanging out with my friend and this girl and stuff, or hanging out, running around outside of my grandma's house and stuff. This is in town, and there's a UFO. It flew over, and it flew low to the ground, and it had 3 lights, and from the bottom, the lights were in a triangle. So there was, when you first seen it coming, you couldn't tell there was 3 lights. There was just 2 lights. But when it flew over, there was a 3rd light on the tail. So when it was above you, there's 2 triangles, 2 points above, and then the one on the back. It flew, I mean, barely above the shed. It was maybe like 50 feet above the shed, 50 feet above the house. It was so low, so quiet. And it just blew us away. It flew right over. My parents came home right after that. My dad could see it. It was actually over. It was above the town and stuff. I don't know how many people in town seen it. He seen it. My mom seen it and stuff. And he could tell that it was hovering and stuff. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't moving. It wasn't a helicopter and stuff. And I was so adamant that the thing flew over our shed, and it looked like the aircraft itself wasn't triangle-ish. It reminded me of like a manta ray fin. How the front swoops back like that is exactly how it was, with the triangle lights underneath. The triangle shape. There's 2 here. The triangle shaped points. And with the lights itself wasn't triangles. So here we have Jay Fritz. Sorry if you've been waiting there long, Jay.
I have not.
How's it going, man?
Okay, how about yourself?
Doing wonderful.
I watch you. A lot of times I don't even come on. I'll just stay in the background. But I really, what you talk about hits home with me a lot. And I trust what you talk about, young man. I want you to do me a favor. Would you do me a favor?
Sure.
It won't take long. I know you in this stuff. What reason I asked if you ever see anything white, when we were on the rim, we went to the Mogollon Rim, and we had a flat tire. We turned down the wrong road to where we were going camping, and we had a flat tire. Tire blew out on us. Well, we worked, when the tire blew out on us, it pushed us into a mound that the still forward momentum of the car. Stevie B was driving, and you know Stevie, I'm sure, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Well, it jerked the steering wheel, and it just drove us right into that mound. And we worked and worked and worked on trying to get that car off that mound. Couldn't get it off. So I'm not going to go into all that story. But we got it back in the car. It was just wore out. We worked probably for almost 4 hours trying to dig that thing out, and I think it came to realization that we wasn't going to get off that mound. And we were talking, and I just happened to look forward, and I had, when you're sitting in a car, you're talking to the person beside you, and then you just turn around, you're staring forward, or you're just looking into space, when you're talking. And something white caught my vision. I thought it was like a paper sack, or like you get from Walmart or something, And I tilted my head a little bit, and I could see the whole body of it, the length of it. I took Stevie, I told her I saw something in front of me, and she says, what was it? I never took my eyes off this thing, and by the time she said, what was it? It moved a little bit. I'm not saying it ducked down, but when you take your head and you want to look forward at something, you'll stretch your neck, kind of more of that type movement, And I said, "Oh my God, Stevie, it just moved." So I took the camera up and I took a picture of it. Matter of fact, we took several pictures, and we even filmed it. A lot of those films are gone now. We gave it, when we were filming it, we shared it to all 3 of our phones to make sure we had backup of what we were seeing,
Right.
all but these two small clips are gone now. Okay, but you know Mog's the show, don't you? You've heard of Mog's, I'm sure.
Yeah, Mogan Monster.
Yeah. At the very end of his last show, we showed that clip. I would like for you to go in and watch that if you don't mind. Give me your opinion on what maybe we saw. Also, there's been a lot of white sightings lately, I've noticed. Kerry Arnold was in either Alabama or Arkansas, or a couple.
Arkansas, the
Yeah.
latest one.
Remember, I don't know if you watched that, but he had a couple that saw some white something and others. And I don't like Colorado Bigfoot because he's always begging for money. And,
Right.
okay, but he had one on his last thing called Crossing a Beam or something. And it was a white thing. He was filming something white, looked like it was walking across a log or a beam or something. Would you go in there and watch? Would you go in there and watch our little film and just give me your next show? Just give me
I can.
Give me your opinion.
I have not. I started watching that, but I didn't finish it, so I didn't watch that film. Otherwise, I would be able to tell you right now.
Yeah, because a lot of it, we couldn't get it to come up. Mox couldn't get it to come up on his computer, and the show just dragged on and dragged on. But there at the very end, he shared it with Papa C. Papa C was able to bring it up. I'm sure a lot of people missed that because the show drugged so long trying to get. But right at the end of it, you just have to go and just go all the way up, almost to the end of it, and you'll see that little bit of film. Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
Would you do?
I know. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I know I have sometimes that problem. I can't share videos, like you normally. It has the option to share files and share videos. I can't do it. It won't let me. James can come on here. He can share whatever video, no problem and stuff. So, it might be that and stuff. I'm not sure.
Well, Matt, Matt, Central Florida Bigfoot, and I like Matt a lot. I mean, he's
Matt's a cool guy.
Tremendous photographer. I like him, and this is nothing against Matt at all. But he says he thinks it's just like sunlight. But it was raining. There was no sunlight. I mean, it was raining. It was cloudy as can be, So
with the pictures, you sent him pictures and stuff. Yeah, it's harder to. Video is the best and stuff because you can see movement. You have organically stuff you can work with, not just a still image. Still images are real unless you have something really, really good. It's just it's hard to pick out detail. At least if you have video and stuff, it has multiple still images. You can see slight movement, maybe, and then you can definitively have more evidence so you can say one way or another.
Mean, in my eyes, it wasn't. I could see behind it. I could see the sky behind this thing. You know what I'm saying? You could see the darkness behind it through the tree. So I just, in my eyes, I just don't think it was sunlight.
Plus, I haven't listened to all of you guys' stories yet. I know. Didn't you guys have you were hearing stuff too? And then I know we
saw. We were stuck, and I put Judy out up there where we turned into this place where we was going to try to turn around before we had the blowout. Mm-hmm. And I posted her with a chair up there. She's not in the greatest health. She couldn't help us Doug at all. And I posted just in case somebody came by, and if she heard any motorized, I was going to run like a Dickens, try to flag them down, run as fast as the old man can, but I was going to. And on the way back from her, I had taken some more water up to her. And on the way back, I started back and I heard the noise. And I turned to Judy and I said, "Did you hear that?" I just got 90%. I mean, just 10%, 10% of my right here. I still got about 70% of my left. So I couldn't make out what it was, and she said it was a whistle. So I looked around, all around, the best I could and everything. I never saw anything. Well, about that time, Stevie hollered for me to come back to the car. And on my way back to my left, I thought I saw like the bottom portion of a leg when it's bent, and it was like it was bent and took a step forward. It was like I caught it in motion, the very last motion of the leg moving forward behind a tree. And I didn't see any body or anything, but I could see the foot. It looked like a foot to me, and then the lower portion of a leg. I never told the ladies about that because I didn't want to spook them or anything, I mean, we had enough going on in our mind trying to get that car out of there, and plus, I thought we were so tired from digging everything. I thought maybe it was just an illusion in my mind or something,
Right. You never know. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, especially a quick movement, a corner of your eye.
It was just like I just caught it, just a glimpse of it out of my peripheral vision, But Judy, after it stopped raining, I got in the car. I got back in the car, and that's when we got to digging a lot and got back going. And then that's when I noticed the thing. And Stevie saw it too, and we didn't know what we was looking at. I'm not saying it was a Sasquatch. I don't know what it was, And it started raining harder, and Stevie one time blowed the horn just to see if it would move. She said, "I'm gonna blow the horn just to see if it'll move." And when she blew the horn, it didn't really move a lot. It's kind of like it just quivered, I just like the shock of a horn blowing, And a few minutes later, she blowed the horn 3 times, and she had this little bitty air horn, stuck it out the window and blowed it, trying to tell Judy to come on back to the car. And I'm still looking at that thing. I hardly ever took my eyes off of it. And that's another thing. If it had been sunlight, I mean, I probably looked at that thing for 30, 40 minutes, just stared at it, And if
it was in the tree line and stuff, right?
If it would have been sunlight, it would have been different shapes or something. The sun would have, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen
the sun would have slowly moved and stuff.
Yeah, the sun, the Earth
it would have been different angles
the
and stuff.
movement's going to make it shape different.
Like some trees.
Well, I'm looking at it, and of course, Judy was unaware of all this, and I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden, Stevie hollers, "Judy, get in the car," And Judy's fumbling around with a chair and everything, and she's going to the back, and Stevie said, "Drop a damn chair or something on that order, and get in the car right now." Well, I wanted Judy to see this, what I was looking at, So I said, "Judy, get in the front seat. I'm going to get out of the front seat. You get in the front seat." So I went around to the back, and she got in, and Judy talks all the time. That woman never shuts up. And so I told her, I said, "Judy, shut up a few minutes. I want you to look at something." So I said, "I want you to turn your head straight away. Don't look, and look down. And when I tell you, I want you to look straight ahead." And she looked straight ahead, and she said, "Oh my God, what is that?" So she saw the same thing I'm looking at. Okay. So all 3 of us saw this thing, and I think I never noticed something to the right. I guess, in your car, you got different visions, and Moggs brought up in that picture, you'll see, and he enlarged it, and it looks like something hugging the tree, to the right of it. You can actually, if you look real good, a lot of people can't see it. it's like it's kind of looking down, and you can kind of see its eyes, a little bit. I want you to go in there and look at that. Just get, next, I'm going to come back. I'll get your opinion on what you think
Sure.
it might be. Would you do that for me?
Yeah, I will. I will do that for you, Jay. No problem.
All right. Thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks for listening to me.
Hey, anytime, Jay. You know that.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on and stuff. Like I said, anytime.
All right, buddy.
All right. So yeah, everyone go out to Mo/show with Jay and Stevie B. And they talk about their encounter. I'll be watching that here and take a look at what they got and stuff. And they go through their experience. And there's a lot more and stuff too. They an officer comes and talks to them and is kind of scared of the place they're at too. So go watch that for more in-depth detail and check out the evidence at the end and see and give a comment about your opinion and stuff. Be friendly and stuff. Everyone might have different opinions. I might find it and might not have an opinion that Jay likes, but I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not going to blow smoke up his ass either, and I hate doing that because people do send me stuff and it's just like, and I tell them, it could be this, it could be not, it could be something that's, but it's not good enough to say either or. And sometimes it sucks because I don't want to, make someone's day feel like crappy, but at the same time, there's some standards. It's like, and it could be, if I got a picture and if I seen Sasquatch and stuff and it comes out all crappy and stuff like that, I would be up and down defending it too, even though it was crappy and stuff too. And I understand that people want to be able to see it, but last two shows that Mogs had, you guys can watch it. So watch the first one first and then watch the second one. And so it's hard, and pictures are hard. That's why videos are so much better because a photograph is a single photograph, but you're shooting 60 frames a second. You're shooting 60 photographs a second. So there's a lot more information, a lot more photographs to go through and stuff. So video is just so much better. And then setting up your camera and stuff though too is it's not just easy as your simple phone camera. They're pretty easy and stuff. But if you have video cameras or camera equipment, setting it up and making sure you have your manual settings dialed in, make sure if you have to adjust the light source, you can adjust the lighting and the shutter speed and stuff. Make sure you have your shutter speed set at the certain correct shutter speed, and so you're not going to have out of focus things. You're not going to have blurry things that are tail ending the frame and creating illusions that are not actually happening and stuff. Learning about how different light can transfuse and light flares and different illusions and things that can happen on film and video. It's good to just learn to that, so then you can pick up on that and and see, hey, this is most likely a lens flare or a flash of the light, or the way that the leaves are blowing through the light canopy and the lights it's causing this orb to be floating and appearing, blah blah blah. Making sure you learn about all that is very good and knowledgeable and stuff. But yeah, video all the time. If you can either take a picture or a video, is grab that camera and take a video. Is videotape stuff because you're taking pictures. So I appreciate Jay coming on here and the way asking like that. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm gonna go and look at that and I'll give him my honest answer. So and if anyone has evidence and stuff, you can email me at two different emails I have. My personal email and then the Lost Cryptids email right here. Make sure you guys have the each word is capitalized and stuff. And I know it's a pain in the butt when you're typing it, but just how I fancied it. But you guys can send some clips there. If you guys, the best way to send video clips through email is not sending it through the email itself, because you can only have like 25 megabytes of video, which is nothing. You actually send me an invite to a Google Drive. If you guys have Google Drive, you can even have a free Google Drive. You can have up to 15 free gigabytes. So you can put most video evidence onto this Google Drive and then send me an invitation to that video clip, and then I will be able to download that clip and view it and stuff at its full resolution and stuff. You don't have to worry about trying to fit 25 megabytes onto email file, or 200 megabytes through Facebook, because Facebook Messenger and all that can only fit certain file sizes. So send me a share link to a Google Drive video saved file evidence. Then you're able to share big video clips that way. Or Dropbox. Dropbox is pretty good, or any other thing like that too, if you have Dropbox link. There's certain things like that. So you can email there at the Google email. And if you have a Google email and all that, you should pretty much have a free Google Drive that you have access to, free storage that you can put videos on. And that's how I share my video evidence to people, is I share them that way. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Or you contact me and stuff, and all that good stuff. So, and if Stevie B and Jay said they seen experience stuff up there, then I'm gonna tend to believe them. I met Stevie B down in Florida with the 168 Bigfoot Odyssey, and she's a wonderful person, and enjoy spending time with her and stuff, and the car ride back to her place and stuff. She said that she experienced the orbs out down there in Florida. I know in this one particular spot, I know me and this other researcher experienced orbs in a completely different area and stuff. And these were kind of in the treetops and stuff. And I don't think they were cars. They definitely were not cars. Definitely were not cars. So it's very interesting. This orb thing gets brought up a lot. So shout out to Pine Island Research. How you doing? Nice to see you in the chat. Everyone check out his channel. Because it does a great show on Mondays and stuff, has great guests and works with some great people, and has some pretty good research that I personally enjoy. So I would recommend, again, Pine Island Research, if you guys want to have a reliable information and source and guests that he interviews on. So also, how you doing, Flat Rock? Nice to see you, of course. Yes, 168 was actually awesome. It was pretty chaotic and stuff. And it was a mess at times too. But several things I think was the reason. It was the first time event for these things, first time for Kerry, and if you watch Kerry back then compared to how he is now in the field and stuff, Kerry was pretty scared in the field a lot. So, now he's out there by himself, getting left out there by himself and stuff now. So it's a big difference and stuff. So I know when we go back again in November, which Lost Cryptids is going, I'm fairly confident that we're going to get some more incredible evidence that than what we got and what people experienced and what we've seen and stuff. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait. And I just I am humbled about the experience and stuff, and everything I was able to experience, and the people that I'd met and stuff, and all that. So yeah, if she yeah, I feel the same way and stuff. I never got no bad vibes or anything like that. And I'm pretty good at reading people, especially when I'm firsthand up with you and out in the field. I get a pretty good BS meter and stuff. And there was people I met there that I didn't like. With my BS meter was flinging BS all over the place. And that person is very knowledgeable, of course, and that probably has very good experiences, of course. But my BS meter was flinging all over the place on certain things, and it didn't sit well with me. So, Stevie B is pretty authentic, and I like that. I like that about people: integrity, character, and all, and being authentic and honest and stuff. That's sits well with me, and it sits well in this field, because if you don't have any of those things, you don't. I mean, why would anyone believe you? So, but yeah, so can't wait for the next one, man, and can't wait to have expeditions here in Michigan. Open invitation to any and all researchers. We have active areas. Like I said, we have spots where it seems like every time we go, something happens. Even in the dead of winter in January, when it's -5 out and we're freezing our butts off in tents and in sleeping bags, thinking nothing happens at all, being all bummed out, we actually caught a bunch of wood knocks, and I can play these wood knocks for you too. Actually, I believe I had them set up right here, but we got wood knocks, about 8 different wood knocks in the middle of the night in the dead of winter, different points and stuff, and these are not trees that are cracking or popping from the cold and stuff. These are smacks and stuff. I believe I had it up right here at the bottom. But we have the on the channel and stuff, we have these knocks up and stuff you guys can listen to. And if I could get enough researchers, real deal, like people who take this seriously, to come with us, we can take and get evidence, man. I know we can get full-on encounters, interaction going on, where these people are going to walk away and go back home saying, yeah, dude, we went to Michigan and we experienced stuff. Like, if we had people here to go out researching with, to help collaborate, more spotlight on us and stuff, maybe a little bit more funding, maybe a little bit more better tech, maybe something that's, things like that would help us a lot. But I think the researchers coming together and witnessing it along with us in that collaboration would go out such a long way, that we could actually get some stuff done. I found hair and stuff, lost it because people are greedy. People. That's why working with people is finicky. That's why I only want to work with people who have integrity and character and honesty, because if we find a hair in the air, I find a hair dangling on this piece of branch, we take it, and I say, hold on to it, because I don't have no freaking bags, and I ask you to hold on to it, and then all of a sudden you want to play finders keepers, losers weepers, it's mine now, and you don't want to give it to the group, you don't want to give it to me, you don't want to give it to anyone else. That doesn't work. That doesn't do anything. That means nothing. And then, of course, it gets lost along the way. What does that mean then? It means that there's now we just lost that. So I don't like working with people who don't have integrity and are in it for themselves and stuff, If I wanted to in it for myself and so worried about that damn hair, I'd have kept it myself and made sure it was in my pocket so no one else would steal it. I said, here, hang on to it. Trusting you, then you're not going to go all finicky like that. So, we have found hair in these areas. We have found some pretty good evidence, foot tracks and stuff. We can find DNA, eDNA, we can get all that. No problem. If we have enough people here for a week and enough people scouting around and going to these different areas around this place, I guarantee, I want to guarantee that we will get stuff happen. Like, I want to say 100%. So I don't think I have that video up. I appreciate that, Jay, and I'll take a look for that video. Good night and stuff. We're going to get off here in a little bit. I'm going to look through this really hard one more time because sometimes it seems like I overlook things pretty easily. Just the way my brain works, I just going too fast. I got to squint and stuff and make sure I'm absolutely seeing the damn thing. But we could play other knocks from the same area, but they're not going to be. Oh, here they are. Here's the winter knocks right here. So this is January 7th in the middle of the night. This is -5 out, -5 degrees out, and we're in our tents. And we're getting this sort of stuff. So if you guys can hear that, I'll play that one more time. I know it's kind of hard to hear but at the end you can hear the one smack. We're good. So there's some knocks and stuff from a recorder in my tent. And these are knocks pretty loud if they're able to be heard from where we're at and compared to where they're at and where the other recorder, which was closer, was picking them up at. So even in the dead of winter where we were really thinking nothing was happening, we get knocks. And if we were able to look at this information in the field at a very fast pace, we could have triangulated that we had knocks in this area to go over here and look for footprints in the snow. But there's no way to go through that data in the field, even on a computer and stuff. First, I send the audio to Tyler, to James and stuff, and they have their own way of going through things. And usually it's kind of about the same. We usually put it on the spectrogram or whatever kind of graph spectral thing that's looking at the different fluctuations. So any little blip that seems loud or abnormal, we can speed through it and look and go through it, which is pretty fast. It doesn't take that long to go through 12 hours of audio, 18 hours of audio. 6 hours of audio is it's a short clip for us. 4 hours is very short. So it's easy to go through that and pick out where the spikes are and stuff, and then maybe something's going on there. But that doesn't pick up very, very faint background noises or soft noises, which typically would knocks most of the time. If they're not loud, they're going to be soft. They're going to be hidden in the background. So you gotta listen to it. And how do you listen to 18 hours worth of audio? Is you listen to 18 hours worth of audio. And you can speed it up, turn the volume up and stuff too. You can listen to the 18 hours of audio in 9 hours. But you're not going to pick up everything because you're speeding through it. And if it's faint and you're playing it too fast, it's going to go too fast. Got to listen to the audio. Blow your freaking eardrums off listening to the stuff so you can hear the background noise. I mean, that's how I personally do it. I look at everything that's the graph. Maybe I'll speed through everything, and I'll definitely do one listen over at least of it all. And there's audio of tapping, tap, tap, tap. Minute goes by, nothing. Another minute, tap, 30 seconds, tap, tap. Another minute, nothing. 5 minutes, nothing. 10 minutes, tap, 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 tap. All this, tap, 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 tap. And this goes on for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So either something's tapping around the audio, or there's a bug who spent the last 12 hours at night on the audio just tapping the dang thing. So, but I have audio of that happening in Florida, and then I have audio happening in the UP of that, and I have some tapping of audio in lower Michigan and stuff. But I don't know if it's Bigfoot. It could be a bug or something. And what I want to do is set up this audio recorder with a camera running on the audio and see if, when I'm hearing this tapping noise, if there's bugs on it and stuff, or if there's something. This particular time, I know like some animal, rodent or something, came up to it and sniffed it and it scooted it and stuff, then it scurried away and stuff. So. Yeah, sometimes I guess I don't think I have sleep apnea, but apparently I snore sometimes. Usually when I'm worn out. So there's other audio we have of the expedition to Waterloo. This is about 2 years ago. It's this little raw documentary I made of our expedition to Waterloo, where we had experiences and stuff. There's audio of me sleeping, snoring, and this tree or sapling being pushed over or broken or something. And I'm right next to the tree line, as far as you can get to the tree line. And I'm the last one to go to sleep. I like being the last one to pass out because I like to observe things when everyone's sleeping. And see if anything comes into camp. I like to be the last one up because sometimes you get messed with being the last one up. I kind of like to do that. And I 99% of the time am. Even in Florida, I was the last one, typically the last one up. Me and Jimmy Barr are usually the last one up. And so I would get usually, after everything was done and stuff in Florida at nighttime, 3, we get back 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I would then go in the shower, and I'd spend an hour in the shower, just relaxing and cooling off and de-stressing from the day and the work. And then I would walk this fence line slowly all the way to the tent and stuff, and just watching, observing the stuff. And I'm pretty sure at some of those times I was being watched, just because at other times there's people getting messed with at camp and stuff. Steve B over by Mogs and stuff, and they were experiencing some stuff in that area. Other people seen stuff walk up of a creature being up in that area where they were at, and then down that fence row towards the camper and main base camp, and then the outside of the fence where we found tracks. So but I didn't never hear anything and stuff. Nothing did anything. So, but I like being the last one up to hopefully experience every little bit that I can. I like to experience. So if there's any little niche or any little gain I can hopefully get, I'll try to exploit it safely and stuff. Be the last one up. Try to get up early too. It sucks, but be the last one up and try to be one of the first to get up early. And then I go out by myself and do a nice morning hike by myself, walk, and then go back to camp and see what's up. Wasn't supposed to do that in Florida during the 168, but I did it anyways. I got permission. I asked Carrie, but it was fun. If I'm going to do it, I do it wherever I'm at. I'll go out by myself and experience that, because that's just what I want to do and what I'm going to do. So, so yeah, if there's any other questions, let's get them rolling and stuff. Other than that, I'm gonna go to bed and stuff, join my girlfriend, pass out, get ready for tomorrow. Me and her were actually supposed to go out tonight, this evening. I was actually going to do a super short show. It was going to be at like 9 o'clock. It was going to be a half hour. And then we were going to head out and go out in the woods all night. But it's still raining and stuff here. It didn't really stop. So instead, we're going to try to go out and stuff tomorrow. So get this computer going and stuff. We'll be making more films. Other than that, I'm just sitting on a bunch of footage and actually some evidence that I want to work on and show you guys. But I'm not able to because of the computer. But sometimes, it's better to wait than push timing. Sometimes timing is everything, and whether you like it or not, sometimes you're forced to just wait and do things that when they're presenting themselves at the right time. So working at other things and stuff. We got the merch and stuff going. That is going to be updating more and more as long as they get this update fixed. And then working on this Lost Cryptids event, the Michigan Bigfoot and Dogman Conference. And so we're going to be working on that. We're going to hopefully invite you guys all to come out and stuff. It's going to be an awesome event, awesome place and stuff. And it's going to be held at the same place, hopefully for years to come, and room to grow and everything. And it's going to be an excellent place, not too far from Sasquatch activity, Sasquatch encounters and sightings, and it's going to be great stuff. So I'm excited to reveal the location, but that's not going to be happening until a little bit of time and stuff. We got things that we're going to we want to finalize and make sure and stuff. So we got some options and stuff, but there's just one I like particular, but we will see. They're all good. So so yeah, if you guys want to help us and stuff, you guys can donate. Go to the link in the description for the Teespring store. You guys can get yourself a shirt. We have 15 items right now you guys can purchase from, and all have multiple colors. And we'll have more designs up. You guys can get yourself some shirts and nice sweatshirts and stuff. Good quality, of course. You guys can buy it. And there's different, you guys have different options and stuff too. So if you want to have really good quality stuff, you can have a basic classic t-shirt and stuff, $24. Or you can have tribal end t-shirts, $28 and stuff like that. So everything on there, I priced as low as I could reasonably go and stuff. And if you compare that to other places and people, I'm sure you'll find that it's cheaper than most. So, so yeah, buy what you want and stuff from there, and let me know if you guys like it, you don't like it, and then of course they have all their return policy and stuff like that. No problems there. You don't have to worry about not getting your money back. They have that all covered, and you can buy a classic t-shirt for $24, and you can make 4 payments on it and stuff. So you can really get it really cheap if you want to buy it on a credit card and all that. So it's just a way to help fund our research. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for funding. And if you go back many, many months, I said we are not selling merchandise. We're not taking anything like that. I didn't give any places where you guys could give donations, but people have been bugging me. Things are growing and stuff. Other people are telling me, and I agree and stuff. If we want more research and more things to help us get evidence for you guys, and we're gonna need more money than what I can provide and make by myself, and all the other people that help us too. So on our members. So yeah, if you guys want to donate and stuff, you appreciate that. You don't have to at all. Don't have to. What we provide on here is completely free. We don't charge anything. There's no paywall or anything like that. All our documentaries, everything else is free. if you want to, buy yourself a shirt. It'll help us out. Get yourself something too. It makes me feel better about people spending money on me. But if you guys want to come to Michigan and go out Sasquatch research, an open invitation to serious researchers with this professional integrity mindset about going out in the field, actually doing work. If you come to Michigan and you want to go out there and you just expect to go party at this camp out, I'm probably gonna, I'll be respectful and stuff, but I'm probably gonna leave if it's not, actually about research and you're just partying. That's not what I'm going out there for, man. So, yeah, I would happily take anyone out and go out researching. We got some pretty awesome areas and try to get evidence, real deal evidence, interactions, hair, eDNA, whatever it is, footprints, tracks. We can make it happen. It's just in any given day. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Pine Island. It sounds fun. Hopefully it will be fun. This Michigan Bigfoot and Dogman conference. We're going to do a little bit more than just Bigfoot, just because people are experiencing stuff. Me and my girlfriend just seen a wolf cross the road on all fours, a normal wolf, huge wolf. It got up it ran like a human in one fluid motion. And then I guess I'm left with saying I experienced a dogman encounter. And, like I said earlier, there's other things I've experienced. So we're going to present a conference that's more awareness and spreading of the truth that, Sasquatches are not friendly forest hippies, but in fact, they're very dangerous, volatile even, wild humanoids who do have a wild temper, aggressive nature, and sometimes they do kidnap and eat people. That doesn't happen all the time, but let's not shy away from the facts here, people. If you wouldn't, tell your kids to go chase after and investigate a grizzly bear or a black bear out in the woods, why would you go tell them to go do that with a Sasquatch? I mean, we can have fun, we can learn, it's a great experience, but at the same time, those same kids should know that, hey, this is dangerous. This is not, this is kind of stupid. I mean, this is kind of stupid. What we are trying to actually do is we're poking a Bigfoot, with our cameras and sticks and trying to get interaction and try to make something happen just to get something on film. When the reality is, would you do that with a grizzly bear? Would you try to go do that with a black bear? If you look how the professionals filmed it and video camera and tape these things, they're hundreds of yards away. They're nowhere close to the bear. They're not walking up to the bear. They're not chasing after the bear in the brush. They're not, they're not trying to get interaction with the bear close up. Nope. But when it comes to Bigfoot, we want to walk right up to the dang thing and start talking to it, start trading food, start getting interaction. We get very close. I mean, I've been in experiences. I played this hissing sound. I'll play it right now. We'll play this audio of these close encounters of these Sasquatch surrounding us and making noise and throwing this huge boulder, chucking it up in the air and letting it fall in this creek. I mean, they're extremely close. I personally wouldn't want to get that close to a grizzly bear, but yet in that same situation with the Bigfoot, I'm not as scared. So here's a audio of hissing, of grunts, and a huge, small boulder, big enough to completely kill me if it would have hit me, being thrown in this creek. They were testing us, I believe, or just messing with us.
What was that? I don't know. Did you hear that hiss?
Yeah.
Something just got thrown in the water.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Something just got thrown in the water.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Something just got thrown in the water.
Yeah. Sabe.
You hear that?
Sabe.
You hear that?
Sabe.
You hear that?
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? So in those instances, they were very close to us. Very intense situation. Could have been very dangerous, but they were just messing with us, playing with us aggressively, I would say. They were being a good sport because the first day, the night that we chased after them. They made noise, chased after them, they followed us, paralleled us. I was I was being stupid. This was after 168. This was after Florida. This was after I filmed the red eye shine, and I didn't go into the woods after. And I kind of beat myself up after because I didn't go in after, right? Well, so I chased them. The other people tried to chase a little bit, but I chased after these things for sure. Me and Josh chased after them. This other independent researcher, but all they do is run away. They don't do anything. But the second night and stuff, we went down into the creeks, down the ridges into this creek system, creek bottoms and stuff, in the swampy islands, and they surrounded us and stuff, and we're making noise. I started speaking Native American stuff, and at the same time, people at camp were having activity, but they weren't ever really aggressive and stuff. I mean, yeah, they hissed at us and stuff, and it was kind of freaky and stuff. But I mean, like, they weren't bluff charging, they weren't screaming, they weren't destroying everything. Now, when that huge rock landed, splash, that was pretty intense, because if that would have landed on us, you're dead. You're dead. And that's coming out of the middle of the air. You're not going to hear it. You're just going to get smashed by a rock that just flies out of the air. You're not hearing it at all, unless it's being thrown through some bushes. So that thing just impacts you. Bam, you're dead. That's kind of what's freaky and stuff. But again, was that aggressive? Maybe. Technically, could have been, should be. But they didn't drive us out and stuff. They didn't, freak out and stuff, and I kept, talking Native American. They responded. You guys can watch this, the full part 1 and part 2. It's Michigan, or the Lost Cryptids Expedition to Allegan County, part 1 and part 2. There's audio evidence in both of them, and there's some interesting physical and stuff. But the main stuff's the audio encounter, and the encounter that we have and that we film. So, good night, Sandra Piper. Glad to see you stuck around and hanging out. If you find her in the chat of a show, you know it's a good show, because she's always in it. So, if they wanted to kill us, they would have just done it. They wouldn't be showboating and hissing and grunting at us. If a Sasquatch is going to kill you, he's not going to make a bunch of noise, steamrolling all the way up to you to give you a chance to shoot him. In Allegan, in the part 1 and part 2, where I'm getting hissed at, all that you guys just heard, I have a rifle on my shoulder, and we're having this interaction. I chase after these things with a rifle on my shoulder. I mean, I don't get it out. I don't point at it. Nothing like that. I'm not stupid. They have interaction. They're doing stuff. I'm not scared. I'm not ever reaching for that gun. I never once ever think about needing that gun at all. I have camera, I have equipment in my hands, focused on that. They get very close and stuff. It doesn't matter and stuff. And I took everything as, mutual respect and stuff. But all they did is follow us and make noise. They were probably laughing that I chased after them the first night. And the second night, they were more brazen and more open about. I mean, that hissed. That thing was right next to us behind a bush. It hissed at us. It wasn't super loud and stuff. I had to amplify the audio, but it was loud enough for us to hear. And this is the same time period that something gets thrown, same time period as those grunts and stuff. We're in this creek bottom on this little swamp island. It's an island, but it's swampy and wet, mucky. And messing with us, testing us, seeing how we react. I'm sure we didn't do anything dumb, stupid and stuff. And eventually, we just walked out and went back to camp, hoping for more things to happen and maybe someone seen something and stuff, but nothing major else happened. I believe they were around camp that entire night, and that we stayed up several hours after that. Nothing else happened, but they're still there. So why do I sound 100% sure on these things? Because I'm there to experience in that. You guys can watch the encounter, the audio evidence you have. You can come up with your own conclusions. But if you're there with me, I think you would be walking away with the same experience and opinions and thoughts that I would be having. Maybe some different theories on the situation, but you would 100% say, yeah, man, we experienced this stuff. And so Pine Island research, it's simply an escalated effort to get you to leave. It's rarely dangerous, but expect it to be intimidating as it escalates. Some people aren't prepared for that and react negatively. Exactly. It's fascinating that that's what they do and stuff, because that's what that works, right? It's the most minimal effort of just throwing a little rock at a person will make them scared enough to run out. How efficient is that compared to confronting someone and physically attacking a person to make them leave? That brings other people in and stuff. Yeah. In this particular instance of the Allegan part 1 and part 2, there was a person at camp with his truck was playing loud music, and we told him not to do it. We told him several times not to do it. He was drunk. He wasn't listening. I'm sure anyone who's been around watching this channel long enough knows who he is. We don't talk about the name that we do not speak, but he wasn't listening. This is why it's a danger, because he had something get thrown at his truck and stuff, and it seemed negative and stuff. But the interactions, even though we were getting hissed at and stuff like that, it didn't seem negative, getting pushed out and stuff. It didn't it didn't seem like they were pushing us out. But I could tell, at least we thought, that they weren't liking him. They didn't like his music. I was thinking I wouldn't want to be him trying to come down in here with us right now. You don't want these things not to like you. Even though we're being stupid and stuff, I go about it and try to be playful. Even if I chase after these things, I laughed about it, pick up a little stick and throw it at them, and we just act stupid, just playfully, have this understanding. If they can have this understanding of playfulness, and they should, they're highly intelligent. Animals do it. It takes two highly intelligent animals to communicate, play, and have understanding and actually play together. If I can communicate that with them, even if I have this gun, which I believe it worked, and they were a good sport about it and announced themselves to our presence after I breaking all these limbs, like, yeah, I'm still right here. That wasn't really that big and bad. The gun is for my self-defense and mutual respect. I have a mutual understanding and respect that these things could probably tear me limb to limb. And I want them to have this mutual respect that if they try to go after me, I'm not going to go down without a fight, and they're probably going to get hurt. So it's probably not in their best interest to mess with me. Other than that, this gun is not a worry, And if they can, mind speak and all that, then of course, then it's no problem, right? But instinctively, or I think the vibe and energy you put out, and the way I'm trying to conduct myself, maybe that's something they pick up on, because we have a whole encounter. Jeff from Pine Island Research. If you have not seen on my YouTube channel, it's Jason Kenzie and Blake Deutscher's Bigfoot Encounter. You can watch interviews from 2 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, last August, last September. Me and him had this amazing encounter, and long story short, you can watch the majority of it on video. It's like 10, 20. It's 13 minutes long or something like that, of an encounter and stuff. And Jason sees one on crossing the trail, and he's filming himself. We have eyeshine. I'll show you some clips of eyeshine right here. But basically, they announced themselves to us because we were looking at this manipulation of trees, branches that we were thinking it was Bigfoot. We had walked this trail. We had walked back. Now these 3 broken branches are in the middle of the trail, and we were, have to dodge out of the way, and they weren't there. So we were looking at them. We stopped. All of a sudden, the Sasquatches made this. We started moving away. The Sasquatches made this burst of commotion, this brushing of the ground, and I turned around. We had the gun off, pointed it at the ground, but at the ground, because I'm thinking bear, wolf, whatever. I don't see whatever is making the noise, so I'm not going to point at whatever I don't see. I'm not going to shoot at whatever I don't see. Very quickly, I instinctively thought, this is Sasquatch stuff. This could be Sasquatches, because there was multiple scurrying around as I pointed that gun really fast at them. Put the gun up. A few moments later, we have a Sasquatch tree peeking at us. We have these really crappy headlamps because this bad boy decided to die 30 minutes before. So we have these really the cheapest headlamps you can get. And we can see the eye shine of these things, and eventually we see the silhouette. But Jason starts turning on the camera. You can't see the Sasquatches, but you see us, you see our interactions that we have while we're having in this intense situation. And he does catch eye shine, which I'll show you right now. The gun, for them to announce themselves to a person with a gun on their shoulders, for them to then, as the person turns and takes the gun off and points at them, to just scatter around, hide, and then as the gun is put back away to show themselves, that is highly intelligent. That is risk taking. That is risk thought management. Taking the risk of, is this person going to shoot us as we take it? Is this person, I mean, to me, I've been thinking about this for a whole year and months, and theories of what exactly is going on. I still don't know. I still think about this all the time. We were out there for a whole week. If they were watching us for the whole week, I make it pretty obvious I'm out there looking for Sasquatch. I make it obvious to the Sasquatches I'm out there looking for you guys. I don't try to play I'm just a camper and then I'm just, stupid and I'm oblivious to everything and hopefully they come into camp. I am adamant that you just go out in the area, you just show them what you're actually out there doing, and you're out there trying to look for them, and it's about that, and it's about them. They will pick up on that. They will understand that very, very pretty fast. So they must have known that we were out there looking for them, out there trying to study them. We're out there making calls. We've had responses earlier in the week. We get all excited anytime we have interaction, right? It's not hard to understand. We get excited when we have Bigfoot interaction. Pretty simple. So for them to look at me and Jason, and I have a gun, and for them to think, there's 3 of them there, because we seen 2, and there was one that circled around. That was the one that crossed the trail, spider crawled across the trail. Jason is filming himself. He watches it spider crawl. You can see his face. He physically, his whole body reboots. He has a system reboot that you can watch on camera as he sees this thing cross the trail. He's freaking out. I'm trying to get answers out. How big was it? Where'd it go? And he's telling me details about the thing, but it's not what I want to know. You know, where did it cross the trail? It went this way. Okay, so I start looking that way because it's right there in this tree line we can't hear. So there's some great evidence of our interaction, of the way how Jason, his body language when he actually sees this thing, his body language does not lie. We have this eye shine I'll show you that is captured right here. So it's on the left-hand side right there. You can see it. It'll swing back around. And you can see that our headlamps are right there. It's not our headlamps. So this is one incidence. Right there on the left, again. This was after we had seen 2 tree peeking. Silhouette of them, easily. And when the one turned and looked up, you can see the massive cone head, just the massive head. We walked up to that spot because I want, even though I'm experiencing this, even though I instinctively know my experience, since I'm doing this since I was 13, my experience is telling me this is Sasquatch. These are Sasquatches. When it turned, I seen that massive head. It ain't no squirrel, you know, it's not a deer. But I wanted to walk up to them, and I start, you know, speaking Native American, but in a musical tone, a fluty tone, and we're acting stupid, but we're trying to be friendly. We walk right up to that tree. We're standing there. We don't see anything. We're looking around, blah, blah, blah. As you can see, the camera picks up the eye shine. We walk away, some more eye shine on the left, right there. And then I just stop and discover and say, hey, these broken branches right there, we were looking at them before we stopped and moved, and they announced their presence to us. Maybe they just did it. And there was a little eye shine in there because we were walking away from that individual who's standing. I mean, he's no farther than 10 yards away. That would be, what, 30 feet? 30 feet away? 10 yards, 30 feet away, right? 100 yards is 300 feet. He's right there. I mean, he's close enough he can grab you. But the point is that there's 3 of them. They all calculated. They must have communicated, hey, let's announce themselves. Let's see what happens. Let's not freak out if they, show a gun at us. Let's not, do anything crazy. Let's see what they do. And then, they literally was behind a tree and walked out. And he's standing right there behind the tree. It's as good as you can get at nighttime without a real flashlight being shown at them so you can see it. As good as you can get at nighttime. And I didn't have night vision on me, but if I had this camera in that same situation, you're going to have better film than Patterson film. I'm going to have best video footage ever. If I'm in that same situation with this camera, this night vision camera now, with this manual focus and stuff, no matter how close or far it is away, 200 yards away, with this aftermarket light, I'm going to get to where I should be able to see it, and I can manually focus in, and so that's the goal. Yeah, that was another thing. Other than that, the scurrying around, they made some noise. If you watch the full encounter, Jason Kenzie and Blake Deutscher's Bigfoot encounter, I keep saying I think there's a. At first, there's only one. There's only one showing, and I keep saying I think there's another one to our right because I hear it. And for those who have experienced Sasquatches and how they stealthily move in the environment, it's hard to describe. Other people have described it as steamrolling through the forest, right? I describe it as they slink through the forest. They're slinking through the forest. It's a little play. They're sneaking and stuff. That's what they're doing. It sounds very slight. It's what it sounds like. It sounds like that it's a small furry animal, small game animal walking through the forest. You're expecting this 8 foot tall, 800 pound animal walking, making all this movement that you can, yeah, I'm going to be able to hear him. No problem coming from this way. I'll just turn and look at him. No. It literally sounds like a little mouse walking through the woods or a little squirrel. You know, squirrels make a lot of noise. You would think a squirrels wouldn't make a lot of noise. It sounds like steamrolling. It sounds like this slinking. It sounds like very slight, faint foot. It sounds like this. They plant their foot on the ground and they're just slightly going like this. And that's what they're doing. That's what it sounds like. That's what it's sounding like, you know, when they're taking steps and stuff. It's like they're slowly just, and you just hear it. It's hard to describe. It's really hard to describe. But when you hear it and you experience it and you know. And you can pick up on that. So in the video, I'm hearing it to the right. And that's why my head's on my head is like a swivel, dude. I'm all over the place. Even when we see the one, I am all over the place. Yep, it's like yep, I see it. Yep, I'm over here. I want to know where the heck this guy's at. I want to know what's behind us. I'm all over the place because this is the most intense encounter I've had because they showed themselves and stuff, and it was just, you know, I've been yelled at. Which was freaky and scary being yelled at by the male. And he came close and stuff. And that female was bickering like a married couple, probably telling him, "Don't be stupid, John. Don't get up in his face. He has a gun. Oh my gosh. Don't be like this. You come back home. Blah, 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 blah." It was like a married couple, you know, like a wife trying to stop her husband from doing something stupid because some jackass shot his gun at. Got out, you know, past midnight at a possum who was getting in the trash. Something that everyday Americans do all the time, but the Sasquatch got really mad at me, started yelling at me, caveman gibberish. I've told that story a few times and stuff, and right next to houses, he was in between 4 houses. He didn't give a crap. He was yelling at me. It was just gibberish caveman talk. I mean, it sounded like a man yelling at me with emotions. Why is the neighbor yelling at me? That's what I thought. Why is the neighbor yelling at me? I'm coyote hunting. You know, I'm shooting possums and getting everyone's trash. That second time, it's like, well, that don't sound right. That third time, it was just like, it's not English. He's not speaking English. He's not speaking English. And then he's moving closer. That female and him are and they're parallel going towards me, 100 yards out, paralleling my position until they're directly parallel 100 yards away from me in direct line. Then they stop and they're all quiet. And I have a 223 bolt action rifle with a scope, with the coyote hunting, like I'm coyote hunting and stuff. I just took a shot at a possum that I missed because it was way too close to be sighted with a rifle scope that I shot. But I was bored and there was nothing else. You know how it is. If you guys are coyote hunting and stuff, and sometimes you see a possum, which is all legal. It's all legal. I lasted 15 minutes because I heard them slinking. You hear a little step here, a slight twig break here, and they were moving in closer, and I could tell. They got really close. And it's like, it's close enough that a black bear or a grizzly bear in that same situation, with half a second, you're dead. Half a second, it's on you, Sasquatches are probably even more faster. So that's too close, especially when one is pissed off, abruptly yelling at me in between 4 houses. Any one of these neighbors could have heard. They didn't, though. They were sleeping because I asked. I went inside and I grabbed 2 pistols and I slept with 2 pistols, man. I was like, man, this is crazy. I didn't know what was going to happen. And what was I going to expect? I thought we were going to have problems, house slapping and stuff, but it didn't happen. And I was researching out there before, and I heard like a 500-pound owl during the day. I thought, well, that was odd. I also heard someone make a Bigfoot call, and I assumed it was the people playing a joke on me and stuff, and it wasn't. And after that, after that I went out coyoting, doing the same thing, and thought that maybe these creatures had crept up to me again, and that's it. Nothing else happened. But it seemed like I heard that familiar slinking up to my position and watching me. And it was always on the flank side of where I was at. Just watching, You could feel this heavy presence and stuff. It was uneasiness. And I don't get that often in the woods. I don't get this uneasy feeling and stuff. I'm very at home in nature and feel very comfortable. I don't really get lost. I can get misplaced, but I don't get lost. That is one thing that I have never really been lost. Never been lost. Stuff. I can get turned around. I can be misplaced. I can be wrong, and where the area I think I'm at, but I never truly get lost. Where I'm like, holy crap, man, I'm lost. Stuff. I've been out to some pretty big areas, and I've walked miles and miles in by myself. So. Once the stars go out, you can navigate by the stars. The Big Dipper comes up generally in the north, but it's usually on this side of the sky, and it floats, and it rotates onto that side of the sky. So after a couple hours, the constellations are changed in positions, and if you know that, you can keep track about that. If you keep following the same constellation, you're actually going to get turned around. There's a bunch of different ways, you can learn. Compasses, maps. It's pretty easy to have a compass in the backpack needed. And just to remember that sometimes it doesn't point north, and it points to iron sources and other earth abnormalities. So, but the biggest thing I do for not getting lost is studying Google Maps, and studying the whole area, and try to find landmarks, reference points, rivers, stuff like that. So you kind of have a general idea of, I'm most likely in this area. I'm most likely this way, keeping track of roads. There's a road to the east, there's a road to the north. If I get completely lost, all I got to do is head east to the road, Yeah, usually people who get lost and are truly lost is because they're not prepared. And they are never done any research into studying any knowledge of this information to make sure they don't get lost, studying maps, land markings, reference points, basic survival things and stuff. If you go out to Washington and you go out hiking on some of these mountains, and all you bring is a water bottle, you're not prepared. And in fact, you're a fool. You should probably get off that mountain before you get yourself hurt, because you're not prepared at all. So it might be harsh to some people, but it's not. I don't think it is. I think that You're not prepared, man. All you bring onto a mountain is a water bottle. That's just asking for trouble, man. All right, it's been 3 hours, guys. We're gonna cut the show off here. I will answer this question since I just see it right now. Do you think SLMS kinetic system will work to see them? I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what you're talking about, honestly, if that refers to I have no idea. I have no idea what that's referencing. If that's like military application if something's going on, or if that's some research theory that someone's working with. So I have no idea. What I think they could probably see them is them allowing us to just see them in the daytime, just like they did with me and Jason at nighttime. It's all it takes is for them to do that at 60 feet away. This is how far they were. They were no farther than 60 feet away. You know, there's a nighttime vision camera. That's it. 60 feet with this. I'm having Patterson, better quality than Patterson. Okay. Out in the open, like what they did, man. I mean, I'll be able to zoom in. I'll be able to zoom in even so, and then manually focus that so it's not as distorted as a regular digital zoom would be. So that's the goal, and then daytime footage of the same thing. So I've been to different areas and had some pretty good, successful, I think, curiosity interactions, which is great because it shows that it's possible to keep going and keep getting it. If they're curious and they're open, we're going to get them on film eventually. And, if I have other researchers here to experience that along the way, it's collaboration, it's collaboration about the event. And that witness, man, it's valuable, I like being by myself. I like doing solo. I generally am going solo most of the time. But having other people there to witness this experiences too is just great. And it's great to have. So, yeah. As we get better funding and stuff, get better equipment and stuff, hopefully it will help. But I don't think better equipment is necessarily is a make or break thing. There's plenty of researchers out there who have. I mean, I can't even spend that much money on a piece of equipment. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars who are not getting any results from that piece of equipment and it doesn't mean it's ineffective at all. Like, thermals and stuff, we had a discussion earlier about if thermal technology is working on them or not, or if their fur or hair and stuff is preventing accurate readings and stuff like that. People are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on flares and on night vision and all sorts of equipment. They're not getting any Patterson level quality film. They're not getting any evidence that every researcher that sees it can agree that that's Bigfoot. That should be the standard evidence of thermals, or audio, or audio too is like, we need to come to agreement, like, hey, this Bigfoot howl that this researcher here in Michigan and this researcher in California and in Minnesota and all over else, this sound, and they've seen a Bigfoot make it or blah, blah, blah. We all need to come together and conclude that, yeah, this is the standard and we can compare, blah, blah, blah. We don't have that stuff. So we have a bunch of disagreements on every single evidence we capture, whether it's on a $10 camera phone that you can buy for your kids or a $5,000 Canon. Okay. Still it's not good enough. No one's getting any, viral, world-breaking news stuff. I mean, the hissing and all the audio and that big splash. And I think it's amazing. Other people have said it's amazing stuff. But I mean, it's not going to convince everyone. It's Bigfoot. It's 100% real and all that. But I think if we had better camera equipment, I would humbly say that if I had the opportunity to have the same equipment some of these other people have, expensive camera equipment, I feel like we would be able to have results, provide you guys with stuff. And it wouldn't take another 20 or 10 years to get it, There's a variety of factors that go into that. And it's not, it's not just, I don't think I'm some unique person. And contrary, I'm just an average Joe person who just goes out there. I mean, there's nothing special about me. I just go out there. I mean, I've experienced it since I was 13, and I don't get as scared as other people, I guess. Maybe I get scared out there. There's nothing special. So I'm passionate about it. I try to be more professional and eat, sleep, drink, think about this all the time, type of thing. But nothing abnormal or especially about me that no one else could do. But I personally feel like, if you give me a chance to get in the ring with Mike Tyson, I'm going to try to knock Mike Tyson out, it's just how I am, just how it's going to be. So, yeah, man, if I had the opportunity to have a bunch of funds and camera equipment, I would hope that I could provide knockout evidence for you guys all the time. So I think one day we'll get to that spot, and we'll get there. So that's why I want to send out the invitation to other researchers to come to Michigan, because we have activity, we have areas. I know we can get evidence. I want to experience stuff with other researchers. I don't want to just be lost cryptids. Experience it for you guys. I want to have corroboration. Like, we experienced it. This other researchers experienced it. It's just better. It verifies what we're experiencing. It verifies us and stuff. So, and we're not stingy about evidence and stuff and trying to keep things secret. We have areas that I would never tell people, straight up. I would never tell people some of these areas. There's areas I've never even been to that I would never even tell people. But there's areas that I definitely want to tell researchers and try to keep it secret and stuff, because it's more about safety and stuff. I'm not going to tell people, hey, you should go investigate this area if I think that it's dangerous. Because there are places here in Michigan that I think are dangerous for people to go. And for most average random hooligans to go, because they're not as serious as I am. They don't have the integrity. They might freak out and shoot one of these things, get themselves killed, get their families killed. Maybe their families might get kidnapped, kids and stuff, get hurt, pets, dogs go missing, stuff like that. I would feel bad if these people got back from this trip and said, hey, man, this thing happened, my dog went after it, my dog's dead, or anything worse, because, hey, yeah, if you want to go look at bears and black bears here, go off this area and, go walk right, try to go investigate, walk right up to it with your kids and everything. No, you would never, ever say that to anyone about a bear. So I feel it's my responsibility that, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to point people to a place where I feel is not a place that people should be going. I would only recommend it if you're a professional mindset, integrity-filled researcher that you know what you're doing. I feel like you know what you're doing. You're not just on the couch for a whole year and then you spend one weekend, you're going to go out to this area. No. So, because, I feel like there's responsibility in that sort of thing, I can't recommend a place, to send people if it's not safe, man. So, if if anyone tells you that you can and you can, and I would recommend it. I did it as a kid, researching and stuff too. There's certainly places that I feel heck yeah, take family, go Sasquatching. Yeah, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable about it, but in the back of my mind, there's always something that could go wrong. You just never know. But yeah, when my kids get older and stuff, yeah, are we gonna go Sasquatching? Of course. Are we gonna do some of the things that I don't recommend other people to do? Honestly, probably. It's just the way I am, the way my son is crazy and doesn't listen to stuff. Yeah, man, we're gonna be doing things, differently and all that. But I'm not gonna take my family to places where I feel is not safe. So it's our responsibility. If you don't listen to a person who says, yeah, you can go to this place and I guarantee nothing will happen. They can't guarantee that. They can't guarantee your safety anytime you go out in the woods. I can't guarantee 100% your safety out in the woods when we encounter these things, but I will 100% guarantee I will try my best to keep you safe up until my life. If I have to defend your life with my life, I will. So, because I'm going to defend anyone out there in the woods against these creatures. They're not going to take us down without a fight, which is how it is. So, that's just how it is, man. Not going to sugarcoat it. This is serious. It's not a make-believe imaginary game where you're out hunting a snipe that doesn't exist. Go after the great snipe. No, this is a real creature. This is a real thing that does attack people, that has in the past and still does destroy property, vandalization, kills dogs, farm animals, horses. Okay, so I think there's just ways to go about it. Stuff, and definitely ways not to go about it. So I think I've jabbered long enough for you guys. I appreciate everything. If you guys, I'm very humbled from the feedback I keep getting of everyone who appreciates the show. And again, I'm not anything special. I just happen to enjoy this. And, anytime you enjoy something and you love it, it doesn't become work to look into it and research it. And so I just enjoy everything. I appreciate everyone who finds this stuff, this information, knowledgeable and informative. I really appreciate everyone who says something. And hey, man, I'm just speaking what I think, and what I know, and what I experience, and my thoughts on things. So I don't know if I'm 100% right on anything, but these are my conclusions and where I'm at in my research in life. So I'm going to continue to go out there and explore anything and everything, and present to you guys any evidence I have of whatever we experience, whatever crazy anomalies, cryptids, orbs, aliens, whatever. If it happens to us out there, we're going to try to film it for you guys. We try to experience it. And I think as we grow and stuff, I want to take more people out to experience the stuff that I experience and stuff that other people can experience in a safe manner, and then go to other states and experience the same thing. So, we got the conference, the Michigan Bigfoot and Dogman Conference. And it's going to be a great event, and it's going to be a great hub for you guys to come here to learn, interact, hang out, meet us, meet me, meet everyone, and then go out and hang out and research with us, because that's the main thing. Is we're trying to get everyone here for the event, and then let's go out and research, because that's what's important. That's what's going to get evidence, what's going to make discoveries. Not the event is fun. Speaking, talking, presenting, hanging out with everyone, meeting people, that's all fun and stuff, but that doesn't get evidence. That doesn't do anything to prove anything, to show you guys the real deal stuff. So let's do that, and let's go in the woods afterwards. And I'm going to invite any and all good researchers. Of course, not everyone's going to be able to go. You're going to have to be vetted, but I think if you're honest, integrity, and you have a good thing going about you, you should be pretty good. You shouldn't worry about that. So, all right, everyone. Without further ado, we're gonna take you out with the outros. Check out all the stuff we have on the Lost Cryptid channel. We have a lot of different stuff, and we will have more and more as soon as we get different stuff fixed and get going, guys. So again, I appreciate everyone and all who's take the time to sit and watch all this and everything. So check out the Michigan Bigfoot and Dogman Conference Facebook page. We just started it. We need a bunch of likes, so go out there and get our page going, because we need all the likes we can get. So we're just starting and just growing that page. So please find it, like it, and we'll keep you guys updated.
Thank you.